Hundreds of homes destroyed as an out-of-control wildfire tears through the Okanagan. We have the latest on BC's wildfire fight. Also, where there's fire, there's smoke. We'll tell you about the lingering haze around the region and the air quality issues it's causing for parts of BC. And saying goodbye to the snowbirds for now as they take flight one final time in Victoria. Good morning, everyone. It's Wednesday, August 5th. Welcome to Your Morning Vancouver. I'm Carrie Adams. We begin with BC's fight against raging wildfires as officials warn of continuing tinder-dry conditions. There are about 116 wildfires burning across the province, with more than 50 of them still out of control. The Bradley Creek fire near Vernon is certainly the most devastating at the moment. Overall, officials say there are 8,000 British Columbians under evacuation order across the province and an additional 7,000 under evacuation alert. People are being told to prepare go bags while emergency crews are keeping an anxious eye on weather conditions.
Orders and alerts over the past few days have been changing hourly. This reinforces just how important it is for everyone throughout the province to be prepared, even if you're not under alert yet.
We've never seen fuel dryness the way we are seeing it right now. And then when you put 85 to 100 kilometer winds on top of that, it is an explosive and extremely dangerous situation in BC.
All of this is coming as we enter the province's hottest month. There are more than 1,000 firefighters battling wildfires, while 100 firefighters arrived from Mexico yesterday, and 200 more are expected later this week. Meanwhile, wildfire smoke is now blanketing Metro Vancouver and having a significant impact on air quality. Here's a look at what the smoke looked like last night, socking in the Lower Mainland, and behind it, a blood orange sun in the haze. Metro Vancouver's air quality map has the Eastern Fraser Valley at a 10 this morning, which means there is a very high health risk. Metro Vancouver Northwest and Northeast are at an 8 or high risk. You are advised to reduce strenuous activities outdoors, especially if you experience coughing or throat irritation. Well, we are now seeing the scope of the damage from the Bradley Creek wildfire that ripped through a lakeside community near Vernon. Whipped up by fierce winds, people living along West Side Road had just minutes to escape. More than 200 homes are believed to have been destroyed as residents share harrowing stories of escaping walls of flame. Here's CTV's Kevin Chirac.
Retired firefighter Jeff Moore could only watch his longtime Okanagan lakeside cabin be reduced to ashes in a matter of minutes.
It was a nut show in there. There was bombs going off everywhere, people having a lot of propane, vehicles exploding, all sorts of things. It was just a crazy time.
After trying to save his home, Moore was forced into the water, eventually escaping by boat.
Oh my God.
Others, like Avery Brunel, escaping via a burning highway.
Probably the most terrifying thing that I've ever experienced in my life.
Brunel was one of hundreds forced to evacuate Saturday afternoon as the Bradley Creek wildfire tore through homes along West Side Road near Vernon. The Okanagan Indian Band estimates 30 band member homes and 200 non-band homes were destroyed in the fire.
It was insane.
Oh my God, Tanner, I'm scared.
Brunel's boyfriend Tanner navigating through the wall of fire to safety.
It felt like we were driving through an apocalypse. You could definitely feel the heat. At one point, I think I said, "Oh my God, it's so hot in here."
Realtor Hank Prevashewski returned Sunday and captured this video of the devastation. Somehow, his cabin was spared.
So we got really, really lucky. Like, it was like right across from us, but it just blew right by us.
While there have been no reports of injuries or fatalities, some residents remain concerned about neighbors who chose to stay behind during the fire.
It really wouldn't shock me because I think the wind hit like 80 kilometers an hour. Like, it incinerated like 100 homes in like a matter of like an hour or two.
Meanwhile, Moore is sharing this video to remind the public just how quickly the flames can spread and why every second counts.
Most of all, look after your loved ones and yourself. Life is what it's all about.
Kevin Chirac, CTV News.
Well, another fire roughly 30 kilometers south of the Bradley Creek blaze is also burning out of control along West Side Road. The Quilpatchuk Creek fire forced thousands from their homes over the weekend. The Central Okanagan Regional District says there's been no reports of structures damaged, but the fire has grown to more than 740 hectares. And emergency officials are keeping a close eye on the heat and wind in the forecast.
Right now, there's about 2,200 properties that are on evacuation order and another 450 or so that are on evacuation alert, meaning they should be ready to go at any time.
It's something all too familiar for people living in the area who also dealt with major wildfires forcing evacuations in 2021 and 2023. Well, 2 men have now been charged in last week's violent robbery of a senior in Vancouver's downtown east side. And a warning to you, the surveillance video we're about to show you is hard to watch. This happened near East Hastings and Jackson on the morning of July 29th. Police say a 75-year-old man was out for a walk when the suspects pushed him to the ground, punched him multiple times in the face and robbed him. When the victim tried to retrieve his belongings, he was allegedly slammed into a wall. 43-year-old Kurt Werner Steinhauser and 40-year-old Andre Joseph Burnett have since been arrested. Both have been charged with robbery and remain in custody pending a bail hearing. The federal government is taking the next step towards declaring a proposed pipeline from Alberta to the West Coast as a national interest project. The designation will allow Ottawa to fast-track approvals and bypass some environmental regulations. The pipeline is a key part of an energy deal between Ottawa and Alberta. The more than 1,200-kilometer pipeline would move more than 1 million barrels of crude oil from Alberta to BC for export to international markets. The public has until September 18th to comment on the proposal. Well, the Canadian Forces Snowbirds have flown their final show in Victoria for the foreseeable future. It was a mix of excitement and sadness for thousands who came out to watch. After 55 years putting on shows in the sky, the Snowbirds will be grounded until the early 2030s while the fleet is replaced. For former Snowbirds, it's bittersweet.
Pride, that's the Canadian flag in the air, right? And that's what we're going to miss for quite a few years now. So it's a really nostalgic moment for all of us. We had a great group of former Snowbird pilots down here and technicians, along with all the other folks that have known and loved the Snowbirds for so years.
The Snowbirds' final show is in California on October 11th. Okay, well, good morning, Mark. Yeah,
good morning.
Sorry to see that the Snowbirds aren't going to be around for a while, but back in 2030, so
yeah, it's going to look a little different because I think they believe they're getting new aircraft, right, or upgrading the existing ones.
I wonder how those are going to look. Those are going to be pretty sleek, I would think.
It's going to be pretty weird, but we'll get used to it, right? As soon as they start flying again. All right, good morning. Here we are on a Wednesday morning. Let's get to your weather. CTV weather brought to you by Destination Cultus. Unleash the fun at Destination Cultus, BC's best water and theme parks. It is going to be another hazy day and smoky day, as we've told you about. Right now, we're seeing some cloud, and it's all starting to get a little bit hazier already. It's 16 degrees. Wind is out of the west-northwest at 21 kilometers an hour. And as we told you before, those air quality readings are up into the sort of poor range, fair range, up into the around northwest Vancouver, southwest. You're down to about 4. So any of the southern regions are not bad, but they're in the fair range. 8 out towards Maple Ridge in the northeast of Metro Vancouver. And there is the problem out towards the eastern sections of the valley, Hope, Chilliwack, still on 10. That's very poor air quality. And they're under an orange air quality warning. So we're going to run down those warnings too later on. But first of all, let's take you through your day. You'll see sunny conditions, but some haze and some smoke. It's anywhere from 23 to 29 degrees inland. And again, with the humidex, it's going to feel even warmer. It'll feel like anywhere from 28 to about 33 degrees. Hopefully clearing up a little bit as we head into the late afternoon and then early evening. But that pattern will continue at least for the next couple of days anyway, and it will get warmer too. I've got details coming up, and I'll tell you about those air quality warnings and the 5-day. It's all coming up soon. Carrie.
Okay, thank you, Mark.
Okay.
Well, we're seeing a noticeable shift in tourism south of the border, and now a number of American companies and cities are trying to lure Canadians back.
Well, obviously the U.S. is not a friendly neighbor anymore.
How New York is trying to win back Canadian tourists. We'll have that just ahead. And
what is there left to say but thank you to everybody
Well, sad news this morning. Legendary chief CTV anchor Lloyd Robertson has passed away. A look back at the trusted voice who's shaped generations of Canadian journalism. Stay with us. Welcome back, everyone. It is 6:12. Well, tributes are pouring in this morning following the death of legendary broadcaster Lloyd Robertson. His career made him one of the longest-serving news anchors in television history and spent 35 years as chief anchor of CTV National News. Diagnosed with cancer in 2024, his family says he died yesterday at the age of 92. Here's CTV's Genevieve Beauchemin on his remarkable legacy.
So that's the kind of day it's been on this Thursday.
Along with that nightly sign-off,
Hello.
Lloyd Robertson offered generations of viewers a connection to the world.
I'm Lloyd Robertson. We'll see how the world came to Canada.
His authoritative voice was a landmark of the Canadian broadcast landscape for over 6 decades.
I'm Lloyd Robertson, and I used to live here.
Robertson's early years in Stratford, Ontario shaped his lifelong love of news. He recounted he was bitten by the broadcasting bug when he was a boy. He was watching local radio hosts at CJCS describe the Perth Regiment marching home from the Second World War.
This is Lloyd Robertson.
In high school, he got a job at CJCS. And it's also in high school that he met Nancy Barrett. She would become his wife in 1956 and mother of his 4 daughters. Robertson graduated, continued to spin records and read news until he knocked on CBC's door.
I was hired by the CBC. My voice got me through.
He moved to his first TV job in Winnipeg, going national a few months later on Christmas Day 1956.
Who do you like, Charlotte?
Elvis Presley.
Elvis Presley.
Robertson then worked in Ottawa before heading to Toronto.
We interrupt this program.
He said he fully understood his role in 1963 with the Kennedy assassination, marking the first big event where people tuned into TV rather than radio for breaking news.
I felt that I was now involved in something that really mattered to people. Television news.
Good evening. President Nixon's state visit to Ottawa.
Robertson worked his way to the CBC's flagship news show, The National. But eventually he grew frustrated with his editorial role.
I was in the wrong union. I couldn't write. I couldn't edit. I could not participate in any way when I did a daily newscast.
Robertson is leaving the CBC after 22 years.
He signed on to CTV in 1976, co-anchoring with then-host Harvey Kirk.
Good evening. Lloyd Robertson joins us tonight for CTV News.
Bringing, says his longtime friend journalist Craig Oliver, instant credibility.
That's Lloyd's legacy. He took this news department and put it on the map.
The partnership lasted until 1984, when Kirk retired from the anchor desk and Robertson became senior news anchor.
To me, it was the equivalent of being knighted.
Throughout his career, Robertson often said he had the rare privilege of having a front row seat to history.
Here's our summary of Apollo 11's Space Odyssey.
Diana and Charles played their parts.
What is there left to say but thank you, thank you, thank you to everybody.
Tonight, face-to-face with...
When he retired from the anchor desk in 2011, it marked the end of an era, said then Prime Minister Stephen Harper.
You've been delivering the news since I was barely more than a boy. You've been doing it for so long and so authoritatively. You've almost become part of Canada's geography.
Welcome back to W5.
Robertson continued to work for CTV's W5 for a time and proved in 2018 that you can't take the news out of a news anchor.
And I was able to walk away from this. And it's a pretty bad accident, as accidents go, and of accidents I've covered over the years myself.
That's him reporting live on his own car accident.
Longtime anchor of CTV News, he has gained public trust for his integrity.
He received numerous recognitions, the Order of Canada, a Doctor of Laws from BC's Royal Roads University. A park was named after him.
I'm about to be yesterday's news.
He often said the greatest honor of his life was to chronicle the times, the events that marked Canada and the world for so long.
And that's the kind of day it's been. I'm Lloyd Robertson. For all of us here at CTV News, good night. It strikes me that if you find something you love to do,
hi guys,
and you are able to do it, that's about as good as it gets in life.
Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News.
What a career. Well, what do you do when an unwanted guest hitches a ride?
My kid was in the garage and came in from the garage, a little bit of a startled look on their face, said there's a creature in our garage.
How an adventurous marmot in the Canadian Rockies ended up on a road trip as a furry stowaway. We'll have that a bit later.
Well, obviously the U.S. is not a friendly neighbor anymore.
As Canadians continue boycotting U.S. travel, one city is trying to lure tourists back. We'll tell you where and the strategy after the break.
Share your perfect morning brew with CTV and One Coffee. Snap a photo of your go-to morning beverage alongside your morning view, whether it's a latte with a city skyline, a bold espresso in your backyard, or your favorite dark roast in your cozy home. Submit your photo online at ctvvancouver.ca or scan the QR code for your chance to win a One Coffee prize pack complete with a Keurig machine and delicious One Coffee coffee pods.
Well, most dogs chase squirrels, but these two pups chase bears. Badger and Banjo are specially trained Karelian bear dogs that help the Nevada Department of Wildlife with what they call bear hazing. That means chasing bears out of neighborhoods and back into the wild where they belong, teaching them to stay away from people. Officials say the work may look intense, but every operation is carefully planned to protect both the dogs and the bears. So that's something that we could probably use around here, I think, because bears are getting pretty comfortable.
Yeah, no kidding. And usually, you don't want your dog anywhere near the bear, right? But
right, to keep them away.
Yeah. So instead of dogs going squirrel, they'll go bear.
Exactly. Chase them right out.
That's
wow.
Right.
That could solve a lot of problems, actually.
I think it probably could. That's right. Yeah. No, let's chase bears, not sticks. Sticks is getting old. All right. Let's look at your weather for this Wednesday morning. It could be a little bit hazy again, too, this morning, and 16 degrees currently at YVR with some cloud, and the wind is west-northwest, 19 kilometers an hour. There's air quality advisory out for much of Metro Vancouver, and we'll get to the air quality warnings. First of all, let's check our almanac. We'll get up to 23 today. Inland, that's going to climb up to about 29. Average around this time of year is 22. Last year we hit 21. And our record on this date was 29, set in 1990. So here are the warnings. First of all, it's in the orange category out in the eastern sections of the Fraser Valley. That includes Chilliwack, Agassiz, and Hope. So it's very poor there. And then poor air quality in all the gray areas, which pretty much covers much of the southern half of BC and up toward the central interior, and also in towards the northeast corner out near in toward Alberta. So there's smoke today in Kelowna, also through Kamloops. Warm again, too, with highs of 34. 27 and sun and cloud in Prince George, mostly sunny in Fort St. John, and 26. See some morning showers or drizzle in Prince Rupert. Massett will be sunny, and Bella Coola will be mainly sunny in 26. Here across the south coast, you could see a little drizzle this morning in Port Hardy. Mainly sunny and warm again down the east side of the island. 27 from Campbell River down to Nanaimo, which will hit 30. Into Port Alberni, it's 32. 24 out at Tofino Ucluelet, and sunny and 25 for Victoria. Sunshine Coast, it'll be sunny and 25 as well. Up the Sea to Sky region, 29 in Squamish, 30 in Whistler. And here for the lower mainland, we'll see 23 to 29 degrees inland. Should be sunny, but it will get smoky and hazy at some points too, particularly in the northern half of Metro Vancouver and then out toward the valley. And as we told you before, eastern sections of the valley will be particularly bad. So tomorrow, much the same thing, 23 to 29 degrees inland. And again, could get a little hazy, but then Friday and Saturday, hopefully a little clearer. And the temperature is still not too bad, about 24, 23 near the water. It's going to be 28, 29 degrees inland. So still some warm stuff, but it's going to be a little bit hazy, at least for this morning, too.
Right. Okay. Thanks for the update, Mark. Okay. Well, with summer vacation season in full swing, some companies, as well as cities in the United States, are trying to lure Canadians back. But does that mean people will put their elbows down in search of a deal? CTV's Paul Hollingsworth reports.
Yeah. On a hot summer day,
ring off the rope without untying the knot.
The busy Halifax waterfront offers a snapshot of the tourism vibe in this province.
We're 29% ahead of passenger counts based on this time last year.
Tourism operators say business is on track for a record-breaking year, locally and nationally. According to Stats Canada, tourism revenue across the country has climbed almost 6% compared to the same time frame in 2025.
We're having increased Americans taking advantage of the American dollar. We're seeing Canadians stay home.
Donna Riani and her husband are visiting from Boston for the first time.
Well, obviously the U.S. is not a friendly neighbor anymore.
Given the recent tariff tensions between the two countries, Riani is here to see the sights and show support for her northern neighbors.
It's something I wanted to do. It's nice.
As Americans visit Canada, Canadians continue to travel within this country. Domestic tourism remains strong. David Martel from Quebec City was tempted to travel to the U.S., but he decided to stay in his home country.
For now, I'm going to support the local markets.
The trend of Canadians refusing to travel south of the border is taking a bite out of U.S. tourism. To attract more travelers, Porter Airlines is offering 20% off flights from Canadian cities to New York from August until December. New York is tossing in hotel discounts and cheaper tickets for Broadway shows.
And we're offering 30% off of 85 plus tourism attractions.
Martel says thanks, but no thanks.
Maybe in a couple of years.
He'll spend his vacation money in his home country as the tourism industry continues to surge from coast to coast. Paul Hollingsworth, CTV News, Halifax.
Interesting. I think that a lot of people may go looking for deals south of the border if they haven't been traveling in a while. And if they see those deals, I mean, people want to save money too. So that's another thing, balancing that, elbows up versus saving a few bucks. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, right. And we know lots of people who go down too. I know the Blue Jays were recently in Seattle. A lot of people went down for that. I was thinking about going down, but I keep coming back to, this 51st state stuff's got to stop.
Yes, you're still taking your stand.
That nonsense is kind of, it doesn't sit well.
I know a lot of people who are vacationing in the country, and I'm going to be doing that as well the rest of the summer. So, absolutely. Okay, we're in a different time right now. Speaking of travel, even though the WestJet strike is over, passengers are still scrambling.
Another 5 hours waiting for their confirmation. The call gets disconnected.
How the airline is struggling to get canceled flights and frustrated passengers back on the runway. Also, air quality concerns are on the rise this morning. We'll tell you about the lingering haze around the region and the air quality issues it's causing.
Oh my God! It felt like we were driving through an apocalypse.
Hundreds of homes destroyed as an out-of-control wildfire tears through the Okanagan. More help is coming, but so is a worrying forecast. We have your top stories coming up next. Thanks for joining us. BC's ferocious wildfire season is showing no signs of slowing down. Across the province is reporting there are roughly 7,300 properties under evacuation order. Another 3,800 are on evacuation alert. There are 116 active wildfires burning in BC. Almost half are out of control, and officials fear hot, dry, and windy conditions could fuel more fires. Meanwhile, all of that wildfire smoke is causing air quality issues here in the Lower Mainland. The Eastern Fraser Valley is the hardest hit, with Metro Vancouver's air quality map pegging it as a 10 or very high risk this morning. Officials say you should try to stay inside.
Certainly people at higher risk include those with lung, heart, or other chronic conditions, pregnant people, infants, children, older adults, and outdoor workers.
Northwest and Northeast are both listed as 8 or high risk this morning. Well, it's been an overwhelming few days for so many in the Okanagan as the Bradley Creek wildfire burns near Vernon, sending residents fleeing from their homes. Now some are learning they have no home to go back to. CTV's Ben Milger has more from just outside the evacuation zone.
We don't have a final tally yet, but we can tell you more than 200 houses have already been lost to the Bradley Creek wildfire. Some anxious evacuees still don't know if their houses are still standing. Others have already learned theirs burned to the foundation.
We have no word yet.
This checkpoint is as close as people can get to properties impacted by the Bradley Creek wildfire. Many who are out of their homes had to flee in a tactical evacuation on Saturday, with flames fanned by 80-kilometer-per-hour wind gusts closing in.
When we left, there was fire all around.
The ponderosa pine trees you could hear them exploding and popping. You could hear the wind just roaring through.
Amber Cardenas has not been back to her home on the Okanagan Indian Band Reserve, but she knows it's gone. Relatives on the fire crew sent her photos of the empty foundation.
It's a pretty hard hit, you know. It's my partner's, I've lived there for about 12 years, and it's my partner's childhood home.
For now, they are staying with relatives in West Kelowna. That's also where the regional district has set up a reception center for evacuees.
When an evacuee arrives, we do a little bit of a needs assessment with them and help connect them to the right services they need. And of course, based on our ability to fill in things like accommodation.
With the summer tourist season in full swing in the Okanagan, accommodations are scarce. So Emergency Support Services encourages evacuees to stay with friends or family if at all possible.
We were invited to stay at the Morning Star Bible Camp, which was very gracious of them.
Although devastated by the loss of her home, Cardenas is grateful her family is safe and for the support they're receiving.
Words mean a lot, actions mean a lot, and I just hope no other homes are lost through this wildfire.
The Bradley Creek wildfire remains out of control and now covers more than 28 square kilometers as BC wildfire crews attack it from the air and the ground, doing whatever they can to prevent it from destroying more homes. Ben Milger, CTV News, near Vernon.
We are learning more about the devastation from the Pear Lake fire burning near Clinton. Structures have been lost on about 120 properties. Many of those are people's homes. The Thompson-Nicola Regional District has done another rapid damage assessment in spots where it's safe to do so and is now in the process of connecting with all of those property owners. And some areas still have been too unsafe to check.
We haven't been able to access all of the areas where we believe there may be additional structural losses from the Pear Lake fire. Even if it's safe to do so, we're hoping to be able to do those assessments in the coming days and get the full picture. So we may expect that number for 120 or so properties to increase.
More than 1,500 properties are still under evacuation order in the regional district. That's in addition to the village of Clinton and surrounding First Nations also evacuated. Well, as wildfires burn, some are wondering why BC hasn't declared a state of emergency yet.
Those tools are not needed right now. Tools such as restricting travel, rationing supplies like fuel or accommodations.
BC declared a state of emergency in 2023 during a historically destructive wildfire season. The forecast calls for more hot, dry weather and dry lightning this week. WestJet is still playing catch up this morning after flight attendants went on strike.
It's really not a good impression for the customers, you know. But you have a lot of plans, hotels, you know, Airbnbs and car rentals booked, and you know it's a ripple effect on your trip.
The airline canceled 16 flights yesterday as it repositions its planes and crews across its network. WestJet warns it will take time to get operations back to normal. Its CEO has issued an apology saying, "We know this disruption has been frustrating for our guests and WestJetters, and we're sorry for that." Passengers with bookings through Thursday can still change or cancel their flights without paying a fee. An Alberta man discovered a surprise hitchhiker had caught a ride with him on the drive back to his Calgary home. An adventurous marmot apparently hitched a ride from Kananaskis to Calgary last Tuesday. The driver, Chris Ratzlaff, thinks the animal may have tucked herself into that's a marmot, eh? Huh. He thinks that the animal may have tucked herself into a skid plate under the engine. It hung around in the garage for a while before exploring the neighborhood. She returned to the garage Saturday, and then Ratzlaff called the Calgary Wildlife Rehab Society. They gave him some tips to keep this from happening again.
Whenever you are getting into your car in the mountains after hiking, bang on your hood a little bit, bang on the fenders, just to kind of scare something away. Take a look, like pop the hood, take a look inside, make sure you don't have any unwanted hitchhikers.
Well, the team captured the intrepid marmot and gave her a quick health check before bringing her back home. I got to be honest. I mean, I didn't know that that's what a marmot looked like. It looks much furrier than I was expecting.
Yeah. They almost look like beavers or something, right? Just of the
furry.
Same family, right?
Yeah, just really, really furry.
No, that one had little, exotic coat on, you know.
Yes, very very
kind of
fancy.
Fashionable, right? You know.
Fancy.
That's why I was parading around going, hey, check me out, you know.
But imagine that that's wandering into your garage. So yeah, it was a good tip to bang on your hood to make sure there's.
That's right, because you never know. There could be squirrels, you know, cats sometimes are in there. So yeah, you never know. So okay, or marmots, I guess. Let's get a look at your weather. CTV weather brought to you by Destination Cultus. Unleash the fun at Destination Cultus, BC's best water and theme parks. It's going to be another sunny day, a hot day, and also a hazy and smoky day in some areas too. Right now we have some cloud and it's 16 degrees. Wind is west-northwest, 19 kilometers an hour, and the air quality we're under advisory for much of Metro Vancouver. It'll be up into the poor range around or high risk range for northern sections of Metro Vancouver, and then southern sections into the moderate range at about 4, and it's the eastern section of the valley where it's really bad. It's about rating at about 10, and that's where you're seeing the thickest smoke as well, and they're under that orange air quality warning. So today, however, for much of the lower mainland, it'll be sunny, smoky, hazy at times too, and then into the afternoon, it'll get anywhere from 23 to 29 degrees inland. And with the humidex, it's going to feel even warmer. It will feel like anywhere from 28 to about 33. And then another clear night tonight and another mild night overnight too. And a couple more sunny and warm days after that, hopefully with less haze and less smoke. Now let's check in with Mona.
The Vancouver Bandits have clinched a spot in the Canadian Elite Basketball League Conference Finals, and I'm so excited to be here cheering them on again with Kenny. So, Kenny, last time we saw you guys, it was at the home opener. It was absolutely electric, and this practice is no different. So talk to us a little bit about what to expect from these playoffs.
Yeah, it's super exciting. That's what we work to all year, right? We want that home court advantage. We had a bunch of sellout games this summer, and the home court advantage for us is it's what we play for. Our fans show up in merch every day, come to the games. It's just a wild atmosphere. It's amazing.
Absolutely. Talk to us a little bit about that atmosphere for the fans. If you don't know much about basketball, but you just want to come and support the Vancouver Bandits as they're at the top of the Western Conference, what could you expect?
Yeah, the on-court entertainment's amazing. These guys are great, right? You're going to see dunks and threes all over the place, but we really work with our partners to create those fan experiences. Envision Financial did a $10,000 half-court shot every game this year. So someone could win 10 grand if they hit a half-court shot.
I have to ask, has anyone done it?
Not that one, but they get 2 chances.
Okay.
So they get another shot from the free throw line for $500. And we had a couple $500 winners, which is, a pretty fun night out.
Yeah, and I'm sure the crowd goes wild for them too.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've had a long-time partnership with Popeyes, where if we hit 10 3-pointers, everybody in the building gets chicken fingers.
And who doesn't love that at a basketball game? Now, Thursday, August 6th is creeping up quickly, so how can people get tickets, and what does it look like if you want to bring like a family of 4?
Yeah, the bandits.ca /tickets is the best place to look, but we have an amazing deal with Meridian Farm Markets where you can do 4 hot dogs, 4 bags of chips, 4 soft drinks, and 4 tickets starting at $100 for the playoffs.
Okay, that's a pretty incredible deal, especially for the summertime. You got the kids at home. You want to keep them busy. It's a great place to go. Langley Event Center to support the Vancouver Bandits as they take off in the playoffs starting on Thursday, August 6th. You can get your tickets online, as Kenny mentioned, and good luck to you guys.
Thanks, Mona. Thanks for coming out, and we'll see you Thursday.
All right, thanks, Mona. Well, the clock is ticking towards Vancouver's civic election, but a new poll shows many voters still don't know how they'll vote. Coming up, Research Co-President Mario Canseco joins us to break down the numbers and the key issues that could shape the campaign this fall. Plus,
nothing indicated that it was in U.S. dollars. Nothing at all.
Well, she is a Canadian who booked a trip to a Canadian destination and then was shocked to be charged in U.S. dollars. And this has happened to other people as well. Why this is happening? A closer look coming up next.
Shopify saw a 34% jump in revenue growth and 18% increase in free cash flow margins in the quarter ending June 30th. This was a monster quarter. More than 30% growth in GMV and revenue and gross profit and free cash flow, said Harley Finkelstein, president of Shopify. We power every kind of business, and with AI, we're expanding what's possible for all of them. Shares of SpaceX slumping more than 10% pre-market to about 111 this morning, even after the rocket company reported a 92% surge in quarterly revenue. Investors were spooked by the company's $18.4 billion spending in capital expenditures in the second quarter alone, compared to the $2.8 billion in the prior year. The Canadian company at the center of a Bitcoin hack has warned that artificial intelligence failed to detect the software flaw that was exploited to steal users' funds, now estimated at $130 million. A quarter of that was in Canada. CoinKite, whose affected cold card wallets were drained late last week, said the vulnerability the hackers discovered is a warning for every company building Bitcoin hardware and software, not only us. Firms using AI to monitor security-critical code should undertake immediate reviews, CoinKite said in a blog post on its website. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Well, it is 6:45. If you're planning on taking a flight or book a hotel room online, there are hundreds of different websites to choose from. But even if you're traveling within Canada, you may find out after booking that you aren't being charged in Canadian dollars. Here's CTV's Pat Foran.
Nothing indicated that it was in U.S. dollars. Nothing at all.
Elizabeth Haddock of Orangeville planned a trip with her friends to Picton and needed a hotel room for 2 nights. She started her search on Trivago, which took her to the website super.com. She booked a room and thought she was paying in Canadian funds.
It wasn't until I got my credit card bill.
Haddock says instead of being charged $430 Canadian, it was $430 US, so the total jumped to $610.
Why would I want to see a U.S. price?
In a statement, Trivago said Trivago is not involved in the booking or payment process. The site that completed the reservation is best placed to investigate the charge. When Haddock reached out to super.com, she was offered a $43 credit, which she declined.
Normally, when you book anything online, I always get the price I expect.
Suraj Guganya Vaughn needed a rental vehicle for a trip to Vancouver. He booked with Next Car Rental, which stated on its website transactions were in Canadian dollars. But if you prepay for a rental, it's in U.S. funds. Guganya felt that was misleading.
It seemed like Canadian to me because it had the Canadian taxes and everything. And then later on, when I look at my credit card statement, I see that it was charged in USDs.
Instead of paying $420 Canadian, it was $420 US, which made the charge $611. After we contacted Next Car Rental, the company said it made some changes to its website, saying we removed the line about all transactions being in Canadian dollars. All prepaid reservations booked on nextcarrental.com are in US dollars and always have been.
The best websites will make it very clear.
Travel experts say the best advice is to check websites carefully before finalizing transactions.
On the final page, I want to see if it's in CAD or USD, and if it doesn't say, I go back a page and double check personally.
In Guganya's case, Next Car Rental refunded the difference. As for Haddock, she feels she deserves money back too.
I want the difference to be refunded to my credit card.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Well, have you ever been told you look like someone your friends might have seen in a movie? Well, it happens a lot to Jimmy Fallon anyway. He showed some examples on The Tonight Show last night. Mark has that coming up in your late laugh. But first.
You believe in things you don't understand and you suffer. Supposed to shut it away.
On this day back in 1975, Stevie Wonder signed the largest contract for a single artist in history at the time. The deal was worth $13 million over 7 years for 7 albums. Stay with us. Well, time now for your milestones. First up this morning, happy birthday, Ma. We love you so much. Happy 12th birthday, Santino. And happy 11th birthday, Alessio. It's like a triple threat here. With lots of love from our big familia.
A big party for the big familia. Happy 12th birthday to my amazing and youngest grandson, Zach. Sending you love and best wishes on your special day. Love always from Popo, Mom, Dad, Sister Cassie, or Sister Cassie, rather, and family.
And I sent this one in. Happy birthday to my dear bestie, Carol. Can't wait to celebrate with you this weekend. Can you believe this photo was taken 10 years ago?
Wow.
I know. We
I was going to say yesterday.
We haven't changed a bit.
You guys both look great. Happy birthday, Carol.
Yeah. Thank you. Send us your milestones to bcmilestones@ctv.ca.
All right, another hazy, smoky morning, Swanson Bridge. Yeah, you can see the orange sunshine in the air, or the orange sun in the air, actually, too, and the smoke in the air, too. And we're under a air quality advisory for much of Metro Vancouver. It'll be in the sort of high range to fair range. And then you get into the eastern sections of the valley, it gets even worse. We'll show you in a second. Show you our almanac first. It's 23 degrees. That's our high today. That's near the water. Inland is going to get up to about 29. 22 is our average for this time of year. Last year we had 21, and the record on the state was 29, set in 1990, and sunset tonight about 8:45. So here are the warnings in that orange zone, orange air quality warning for the Fraser Valley East. That includes Chilliwack, Agassiz, and Hope. And it's very poor there. And then the smoke levels everywhere else, they're not great either. Pretty much around the southern half of the province and in towards the central interior, as smoke levels change quickly with the weather and, of course, the fire direction, too. So we'll keep an eye on that. South Coast today. Could see some drizzle up in Port Hardy this morning, then some clearing later with highs of 18. Sunny down the east side of the island and warm. 27 in Campbell River and Comox, 30 in Nanaimo. Head to Port Alberni, it's 32, and 24 out at Tofino, Ucluelet, and sunny and 25 today in Victoria. Sunshine Coast, you will be sunny as well. Powell River and Seashell, both at 25. Up the Sea to Sky region, 29 in Squamish, 30 in Whistler. And here for the lower mainland, sunny, hazy, and a little smoky too, particularly in the northern half of Metro Vancouver and also out toward the valley. And we told you about the problems, eastern sections of the valley, and those highs anywhere from 23 to 29 degrees. So here's our 5-day. Same type of conditions for tomorrow. Hopefully a little clearer, and then we get into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Temperatures cool down a little bit, but still about into the high 20s inland. Well, have you ever been watching a movie and a character appears that you go, hey, doesn't that look like, someone you know? It happens to Tonight Show host Jimmy Fallon quite often, and he had some examples last night. Here's today's Late Laugh.
Now, here's how it works. I'm going to show you 3 photos of people that you say look like me, and then we're going to decide together which one is the best match. I don't know if any of them look like me. Let's go to the first one. The first one is sent in by Tanner Price in Kingsport, Tennessee. He was trying to find something to watch, and he spotted an old French movie called The Monocle, and he thought the actor Paul Maurice looked like me. Let's see. That's not bad.
Not bad.
It's not bad. It's not me, but it's not far away.
Not you. Yeah.
Like if I did the Mr. Peanut documentary.
Yeah, that'd be what you'd look like.
That might be what I look like. All right, this next one was sent in by Kristen Chris in Canfield, Ohio. She was watching Parks and Rec and noticed an extra drinking from a water fountain who she thought looked like me. Look at this. That actually might be me.
That might be you. You might have been visiting.
I might have done an episode of Parks and Rec. I'd love that show. Yeah, that is not me, but she thinks an extra in Park. I can tell people it was in Parks and Rec. That's cool. All right, and this last one here was sent from Chrissy from Windsor, Canada. She was watching the '80s thriller Dressed to Kill. Ooh. And she thought I looked like the mysterious killer Bobby. I don't think I look like her, but all right.
I don't want to admit to that, either. But
He kind of does.
I thought the first one, I didn't know get the artist there with the monocle.
He did poll the audience, and they chose that one.
Oh yeah,
well,
that definitely looked like him.
It definitely looked like him.
Who do you guys think you look like? Who have people told you?
America Ferrera.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
Gorgeous girl.
Nice hair, by the way.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah,
Mark,
there you
who
go.
do people think you look like?
Oh, gosh, Mr. Clean, Stone Cold Steve Austin,
Jason Statham?
Jason Statham,
yes.
There's a little, I like Jason Statham. Right. I've had a couple of Stanley Tucci's,
Oh,
so,
yeah.
What about you?
Yeah.
I have had in the past, who's that supermodel?
Oh, you know the one.
Linda Evangelista.
Yes.
And also,
of course, her.
Also Heather Locklear during her mugshot.
Okay. Madonna?
No.
Well, you did dress up as her.
Yeah. Okay, we've got to move on here. I think falling asleep on the job is something a lot of people can relate to, but live on TV?
Oh, boy.
Just running 465 miles in a matter of days to make all of this happen.
Oh, someone's tired. The morning show host who grabbed a power nap at the wrong time. How people are reacting, that's a bit later. Also. Snowbirds complete their final show in Victoria. More on the celebrations and sadness as the fleet's farewell tour nears its end.
You can't even see the mountains today.
I really do think it's bad.
Air quality worsens with wildfire smoke drifting towards Metro Vancouver. More on the warning from health officials coming up next.
The nut show in there, there's bombs going off everywhere, people having a lot of propane, vehicles exploding.
Stories of flames and destruction are emerging out of the Okanagan as the massive Bradley Creek fire rages near Vernon. Where there's fire, there's smoke. We'll tell you about the lingering haze around the region and the air quality issues it's causing for parts of BC. And what police are saying about why a truck that smashed into a Port Moody townhome days ago is still there. It is Wednesday, August 5th. Welcome to Your Morning Vancouver. I'm Carrie Adams. We begin with BC's fight against raging wildfires as officials warn of continuing tinder-dry conditions. There are about 116 wildfires burning across the province, with more than 50 of them still out of control. The Bradley Creek fire near Vernon is certainly the most devastating at the moment. Overall, officials say there are 8,000 British Columbians under evacuation order across BC and an additional 7,000 under evacuation alert. People are being told to prepare go bags while emergency crews are keeping an anxious eye on weather conditions.
The orders and alerts over the past few days have been changing hourly. This reinforces just how important it is for everyone throughout the province to be prepared, even if you're not under alert yet.
We've never seen fuel dryness the way we are seeing it right now. And then when you put 85 to 100 kilometer winds on top of that, it is an explosive and extremely dangerous situation in BC.
All of this is coming as we enter the province's hottest month. There are more than 1,000 firefighters battling wildfires, while 100 firefighters arrived from Mexico yesterday, and 200 more are expected later this week. Wildfire smoke is now blanketing Metro Vancouver and having a significant impact on air quality. Here's a look at what the smoke looked like last night, socking in the lower mainland, and behind it, a blood orange sun in the haze. Metro Vancouver's air quality map has the eastern Fraser Valley at a 10 this morning, which means there is a very high health risk. Metro Vancouver Northwest and Northeast are at an 8 or high risk. You are advised to reduce strenuous activities outdoors, especially if you experience coughing or throat irritation. In the Okanagan, the full extent of the devastation left by the Bradley Creek wildfire is now coming into focus. Hundreds of homes are believed to have been destroyed after a fast-moving fire fueled by powerful winds swept through the area. Our Craig Krause joins us now with more on this. Good morning, Craig. And residents are telling us this fire moved so quickly they had only minutes to escape.
Well, that's right, Carrie. Good morning. Some fled by boat, others drove through walls of flame, and the stories they're now sharing paint a frightening picture of just how intense those moments were.
It was a nut show in there. There was bombs going off everywhere, people having a lot of propane, vehicles exploding, all sorts of things. It was just a crazy time.
Probably the most terrifying thing that I've ever experienced in my life.
And those are just two of the harrowing stories from people who escaped the Bradley Creek wildfire as powerful winds drove flames through the West Side Road community near Vernon on Saturday. Retired firefighter Jeff Moore escaped by boat, while other residents, including Avery Brownwell, fled through walls of flame to reach safety. The Okanagan Indian Band estimates about 30 band member homes, along with 200 non-band homes, were destroyed in this. When residents returned, though, they found entire stretches of the community reduced to rubble. And as of this morning, the Bradley Creek wildfire remains out of control. The BC Wildfire Service does estimate that the fire has grown to more than 28 hectares in size. And with more hot and dry weather in the forecast, crews are getting a little help from the weather right now. Carrie?
Yeah, it's not good. Okay, yeah. Craig Krause joining us this morning. Thank you. Well, another fire roughly 30 kilometers south of the Bradley Creek blaze is also burning out of control along West Side Road. The Quilpatchuk Creek fire forced thousands from their homes over the weekend. The Central Okanagan Regional District says there's been no reports of structures damaged, but the fire has grown to more than 740 hectares. And emergency officials are keeping a close eye on the heat and the wind in the forecast.
Now there's about 2,200 properties that are on evacuation order and another 450 or so that are on evacuation alert, meaning they should be ready to go at any time.
It's something all too familiar for people living in the area who also dealt with major wildfires forcing evacuations in 2021 and in 2023. In other news this morning, despite a drop in prices, home sales in the Fraser Valley continue to slow. That is according to the Fraser Valley Real Estate Board. It says the composite benchmark price was down 0.8% last month compared to June and down 7% year over year. But sales saw a 5% dip in July and were down 9% year over year. The board says buyer urgency has been notably absent from the Fraser Valley market due to a high volume of inventory. An investigation has been launched in Chilliwack after two small aircraft collided in midair, killing one person. The Transportation Safety Board confirms the crash involved two Cessna 172 aircraft and happened Monday afternoon. The planes were operated by two separate flight schools. Officials with the Chilliwack Airport say one of the aircraft carrying two people was able to return and land safely. The other plane ended up submerged in a quarry lagoon with one person reportedly on board. The TSB is investigating. Well, two men have now been charged in last week's violent robbery of a senior in Vancouver's downtown east side. And a warning to you, the surveillance video we're about to show is hard to watch. It happened near East Hastings and Jackson the morning of July 29th. Police say a 75-year-old man was out for a walk when the suspects pushed him to the ground, punched him multiple times in the face and robbed him. When the victim tried to retrieve his belongings, he was allegedly slammed into a wall. 43-year-old Kurt Werner Steinhauser and 40-year-old Andre Joseph Brunette have since been arrested. Both have been charged with robbery and remain in custody pending a bail hearing. Well, some families who live in a Port Moody townhouse complex are still out of their homes after a truck crashed into it last week. But get this, the truck is still there. The truck slammed into the front door of the townhouse Friday, shaking up the tight-knit neighborhood. CTV has learned one of the units houses a couple with their toddler. They are now scrambling to find a longer-term rental accommodation, as there is no word on when they can return home.
I know them, and I feel for them. They've been out of their homes now for the past few days, and I hope they are, getting on okay. And it must be shocking for them. I mean, it's shocking for all of us.
Moody police say there were no injuries, but two units have significant structural damage, causing the truck to stay parked there. The driver was issued a violation ticket for failing to secure the vehicle. The federal government is taking the next step towards declaring a proposed pipeline from Alberta to the West Coast as a national interest project. That designation will allow Ottawa to fast-track approvals and bypass some environmental regulations. The pipeline is a key part of an energy deal between Ottawa and Alberta. The more than 1,200-kilometer pipeline would move more than 1 million barrels of crude oil from Alberta to BC for export to international markets. The public has until September 18th to comment on the proposal. The Canadian Forces Snowbirds have flown their final show in Victoria for the foreseeable future. There they are. It was a mix of excitement and sadness for the thousands who came out to watch. After 55 years putting on shows in the sky, the Snowbirds will be grounded until the early 2030s while their fleet is replaced. For former Snowbirds, this is bittersweet.
Pride, that's the Canadian flag in the air, right? And that's what we're going to miss for quite a few years now. So it's a really nostalgic moment for all of us. We had a great group of former Snowbird pilots down here and technicians, along with all the other folks that have known and loved the Snowbirds for so years.
The Snowbirds' final show is in California on October 11th. Well, thousands of people packed to California Beach to see some pups catch waves at the 10th annual World Dog Surfing Competition.
I just think they're so talented. These dogs, like when you see them, I can't even surf. I don't know how they do it. And the waves are really big.
Okay, let's see these guys. Here's Rippin' Rosie, the Labrador Retriever that emerged as the day's top dog. Nice. More than a dozen pups braved the rough surf Saturday. They competed in several categories, including surfing, stand-up paddleboarding, and tandem surfs. Look at them go.
Good.
And some clever little life jackets. I'm glad to see they're wearing the life jackets for protection, because those waves, they're pretty big.
I mean, everybody they can all dog paddle, but yeah, every day you need protection as well too. And I always thought they were at a disadvantage, or they had an advantage because they got 4 legs to stand on.
Oh, for sure.
Because I can barely stand up on 2 on a surfboard, right? So I go, oh, that's not fair. But I look at them and go, oh, they're good.
Right. Yeah, a little bit more of a challenge to balance as a human, but hey. Yeah, 4 legs good.
4 legs good, but you get balance challenges too sometimes there. All right, let's get a look at our weather. CTV Weather brought to you by the BC Lions Fan Fest game. Lions take on Hamilton this coming Saturday, August 8th. Celebrate with pregame Disney characters, face painting, and free weekday P&E entry with every ticket. Tickets at bclions.com. Yeah, looking forward to the game. Today, it is going to get a little hazy again. We do have some cloud, and it's 16 degrees. West-northwest winds at 19 kilometers an hour. Hopefully those winds will clear things up. But we are under that air quality advisory for much of Metro Vancouver. Northern sections of the lower mainland will see, anyway, high-risk air quality, and then moderate risk in the southern half and even out toward the valley. But it's the eastern sections of the valley where it really gets serious, up to about 10, and that's in the poor range, very poor range for Chilliwack, also Hope and Agassiz. So we will see some, like I said, some smoke and some haze. Other than that, the sun will be filtered through that too, and it will get warm. Those temperatures will get anywhere from 23 near the water. That's going to be up to about 29 degrees inland. We'll see the sun, but we will see haze and smoke throughout the day as well. And with the humidex, it's going to feel even warmer, anywhere from 28 to 33, and then clearing up a little bit tonight and another mild night overnight. So we've got details with the 5-day forecast, run down those warnings too, and today's scenic snapshot. It's all coming up in a few minutes. Carrie.
Mark, have you ever fallen asleep on the job?
On the job? Not this one. Not this one. Feel like it. Inside I might have, yeah, but...
Not on this job. Okay,
not on this job, no.
Falling asleep on the job. People get tired. It's something a lot of people can relate to, but on live TV...
Just running 465 miles in a matter of days to make all of this happen.
Yeah, we're going to have reaction to this morning show host whose badly timed power nap is now going viral. Poor girl, I feel for her. We'll have that coming up. Plus, how do mayoral candidates stack up with just over 2 months to go until municipal elections in BC? We have some new polling data to share with you coming up after the break. Well, municipal elections take place in BC in just over 2 months, and a new poll suggests the race for mayor in Vancouver is far from settled. Incumbent Ken Sim leads at 30% among decided voters, but more than a quarter of likely voters remain undecided. Research Co-President Mario Canseco joins us now to break down the race to Decision Day, which is October 17th. Hey, Mario, good to see you.
Good to see you too, Carrie.
Okay, so let's talk about these polls here. There are a lot of really credible mayoral candidates vying for Sim's job, but your poll has Kareem Allam and Pete Fry tied behind Sim at 19%. We said that Mayor Ken Sim was 30%. Colleen Hardwick is at 14%. Are there any signs that there will be one challenger that will emerge against
this is really what the next few weeks are about, you know, figuring out your slates, figuring out if you have a path to victory, which seems to be there because of so many undecideds, particularly with the over 55s. Municipal voters tend to be older, and we have more than a third who are telling us, I don't know who to vote for. I might stay with Ken Sim, I might go somewhere else. It's early on in the race, of course, but it's not the same situation that we used to have in elections, I'd say, prior to 2018, where you had Vision and the MPA sort of dominating, taking usually 87% of the vote. Now this is completely wide open, and it could be a very real scenario here, where somebody wins the election with less than a third of the vote.
Yeah, okay, so your poll shows that some political parties, such as the Greens, Liberals, and One City, have more favorable ratings than the governing ABC party, yet Sim still leads the mayoral race. So why isn't party popularity translating more into public support?
Well, it's a complex issue for ABC because the last time around they won everything. Every single candidate with the ABC banner was elected to school board, to park board, and to council. Now with Ken Sim at 30% instead of the 51% he got before, it certainly places him in a situation where he could come back to office, but with fewer councillors. And this would be complicated because he would have 3 or 4 people, not a majority. You could have some Greens, you could have people from the Liberals or from Team who are in council. council, so it makes things more complicated. You can't really win and essentially command council the way you have over the past 3 years.
Yeah, it makes it a little more challenging. So the poll that you conducted, this is just last week, by the way, that this poll was conducted, also focused on the Villages plan, which Sim pitched in 2023. Council just rejected it last month. A lot of people didn't know about the Villages plan when they were asked, and when they learned more about it, they became more concerned about it and rejected the proposal. What does this say about the overall housing plan and of growth and density right now, and how it might impact the mayoral results?
You know, what's really interesting here is usually you have a situation where you're testing a policy and you allow people to read what it's about, and their views become a little more positive after they are exposed to it. This time around it was different. People didn't like this from the start. A lot of them didn't know what it was about, and then when they read the overview, they said, no, I don't like this, it's too complicated, I don't want to see anything related to this. But there's a significant age gap. Younger people are saying, bring a housing plan, bring anything, we're desperate here. And it's the middle-aged voter and the over 55 voter who is thinking to themselves, this is going to be very disruptive to my neighborhood and I don't want it.
Looking ahead to October, what is the biggest thing that you'll be watching for when it comes to some challenges that may come forward? A lot of people don't even recognize a lot of people that could be on that list.
Well, that is also part of it. Not an ominous date at all, but September 11 is the moment when the lists are going to be finalized. And there might be an opportunity for some of the candidates to say, I don't want to do this anymore, I don't want to run with this banner, I'm going back to council. So what happens with some of the candidates right now is definitely crucial. Whether there is a coalescing of the forces, whether it's the Greens with Cope and something that happens afterwards. But I think with so many undecideds, this could go anywhere.
I'm curious to know about World Cup, because I know we're coming off this big event, and often people are excited about what happens in the city. Maybe they were concerned before the World Cup. Now after, everyone's like, singing its praises. Do you think that could translate into a bump for Ken Sim?
There was a moment when that was a definite possibility. And, we checked how people were feeling about the World Cup. During the World Cup, we had roughly the same number of people who said, the city got it right, and I'm voting for Ken Sim and ABC, and the same number who said, the city got it right, but I'm still not voting for them. So it's not going to change things that drastically. It certainly helps them, but I don't think it's one of the defining factors. I think housing is going to be the #1 issue.
Yeah, and October 17th is a long ways away from July when the World Cup was taking place.
Right.
A lot can happen until then, too. Mario Canseco from Research Co. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Okay, well, Canada is losing progress towards ending the HIV epidemic. There's new federal data shedding light on a troubling trend. Why infections are rising in Canada while dropping in so many other countries. We'll have that still to come.
What is there left to say? But thank you to everybody.
Well, sad news this morning. Legendary chief CTV anchor Lloyd Robertson has passed away. A look back at the trusted voice who shaped generations of Canadian journalism. Stay with us.
Your perfect morning brew with CTV and One Coffee. Snap a photo of your go-to morning beverage alongside your morning view. Whether it's a latte with a city skyline, a bold espresso in your backyard, or your favorite dark roast in your cozy home. Submit your photo online at ctvvancouver.ca or scan the QR code for your chance to win a One Coffee prize pack complete with a Keurig coffee machine and delicious One Coffee coffee pots. All right, here we are on a Wednesday morning, another sunny one, but also hazy too. And there is some air quality sort of advisories around for Metro Vancouver, which will be in anywhere from the fair to high range, and also very bad out in the eastern sections of the valley. We'll show you in just a moment. It's 16 right now at YVR, and we're seeing some cloud and some haze too. 23 it'll get up to today near the water. That's going to be 29 inland, and that's where our record set on the state in 1990. Average around this time of year is 22, and last year we hit 21. So here are the air quality warnings. It's in the orange category too, the eastern Fraser Valley. That includes Chilliwack, Agassiz, and Hope, and then and everywhere else around the southern interior and up towards the central interior. It is bad air quality too. The smoke levels can change quickly because of the changing wind directions and the fire conditions as well too. So there'll be smoke through the southern interior, 33 in Kelowna, 34 in Kamloops, up to Prince George, it's 27, 26 in Fort St. John. You see a little drizzle this morning, and then some sun in Prince Rupert. Sunny day in Masset, and mostly sunny in Bella Coola. Here across the south coast, it'll be a couple of showers maybe this morning in Port Hardy. Sunny and 27 down the east side of the island. From Campbell River, Comox, and Nanaimo, it'll hit 30. 32, we headed to Port Alberni, out of Tofino, Ucluelet, 24, and 25 in Sunny and Victoria. Sunny and 25 across the Sunshine Coast as well. Up the Sea to Sky region, 29 and 30 in Squamish and Whistler. And here for the lower mainland, 23 to 29 degrees inland with the smoke and the haze. And that's going to put the air quality in a sort of fair to sort of high risk. And then tomorrow, we'll see similar conditions, even into Friday and Saturday. Hopefully, it'll be a little clearer by the weekend. It'll get a little bit cooler as well. Here's a scenic snapshot this morning. Thank you to Darian Knutson for sending this in when he was working out at the cruise ship docks out at Canada Place. A nice alto cumulus cloud deck. There it is. Send us your scenic snapshot if you got one to show us at scenicSnapshot@ctv.ca.
Wow, those are fantastic clouds.
I love that cloud formation too. It looks like a beach, doesn't it? Sort of.
It does.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, like it's upside down.
That's right. Upside down beach. I like that.
Very cool. Okay, Mark, make your way over to the set because we're going to get into this conversation about this next story. Getting up early to work on television every day can be tiring, so you need to nap when you can, even if it's live on air.
Just running 465 miles in a matter of days to make all of this happen.
Oh, man,
no.
I feel for this woman. Dominique Dillon, she's a morning show host in Memphis, and she recently fell asleep during a reporter live hit. She wasn't on camera at the time, but then they switched back to her. So as a new mom, she just recently returned to work, and she's obviously still adjusting to the schedule. She's getting a lot of support online, though, after this brief power nap was caught on camera.
And hopefully it was not a critique of the reporter's stand-up.
Yeah, well, of course. I mean,
oh boy.
I'm kind of angry for her because, you know, someone wasn't looking out for her in the control room. They put her up on camera when they should have just, woke her up first before going to her. But I know that accidents happen.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe it was like, we were talking about this earlier. Why would you go to her camera?
Yeah.
She's asleep. You know she's asleep.
Dominique, wake up. Or just
go, it's easy to go to break or whatever. But, in any case, I'm happy that she's getting a lot of empathy online because I can't believe you're a new mom going back to work, working that shift
it's hard. I've done it, but I also had more of a mat leave than they do in the U.S.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly it. You have to use your own paid time off.
Oh, it's tough.
I mean, I've taken naps on this couch during breaks.
Yeah, and we always make sure we wake you up before coming back on camera. Okay, well, even though the WestJet strike is over, passengers are still scrambling from it.
Another 5 hours waiting for their confirmation. The call gets disconnected.
How the airline is struggling to get canceled flights and frustrated passengers back on the runway. Also, people in the lower mainland are being urged to stay inside amid worsening air quality. We'll have more on the risks facing Metro Vancouver and the region that's being the hardest hit.
Oh my God. It felt like we were driving through an apocalypse.
Hundreds of homes destroyed as an out-of-control wildfire tears through the Okanagan. We'll have the latest when we come back. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us. BC's ferocious wildfire season is showing no signs of slowing down. Across BC, the province reports there are roughly 7,300 properties under evacuation order. Another 3,800 are on evacuation alert. There are 116 active wildfires burning in BC. Almost half are out of control, and officials fear hot, dry, and windy conditions could fuel more fires. Meanwhile, all of that wildfire smoke is causing air quality issues on the lower mainland. The eastern Fraser Valley is the hardest hit, with Metro Vancouver's air quality map pegging it as a 10, or very high risk this morning. Officials say you should try to stay inside.
Certainly people at higher risk include those with lung, heart, or other chronic conditions, pregnant people, infants, children, older adults, and outdoor workers.
Metro Vancouver Northwest and Northeast are both listed as 8 or high risk this morning. Well, the full extent of the devastation caused by the Bradley Creek wildfire in the Okanagan is now coming into focus after powerful winds drove the fire through the West Side Road community near Vernon. Hundreds of homes are believed to have been destroyed. Craig Krause joins us now with the latest this morning. Good morning, Craig. And the fire remains out of control. What are evacuated residents telling you?
Well, Carrie, now that they're sharing their terrifying stories of their escape as the scale of the damage continues to emerge.
Scared.
These were the scenes as the Bradley Creek wildfire raced through the West Side Road community Saturday, fueled by strong winds that drove the fire toward homes. The Okanagan Indian Band estimates about 30 band member homes along with 200 non-band homes were destroyed. When residents returned, they found entire stretches of the community reduced to rubble. And for many, escaping was just as harrowing as returning.
It felt like we were driving through an apocalypse. You could definitely feel the heat. At one point, I think I said, "Oh my God, it's so hot in here."
So we got really, really lucky. Like, it was like right across from us, but it just blew right by us.
And the Bradley Creek wildfire remains out of control. The BC Wildfire Service estimates the fire has grown to more than 2,800 hectares. And with hot and dry conditions expected to continue, crews are getting little help from the weather. Carrie?
Okay, Craig Krause joining us live this morning. Thank you. Well, we are learning of more devastation from the Pear Lake fire burning near Clinton. Structures have been lost in about 120 properties, many of those people's homes. The Thompson-Nicola Regional District has done another rapid damage assessment in spots where it's safe to do so and is now in the process of connecting with all of those property owners. And some areas have still been too unsafe to check.
We haven't been able to access all of the areas where we believe there may be additional structure losses from the Pear Lake fire. Even if it's safe to do so, we're hoping to be able to do those assessments in the coming days and get the full picture. So we may expect that number for 120 or so properties to increase.
More than 1,500 properties are still under evacuation order in the regional district. That's in addition to the village of Clinton and surrounding First Nations also evacuated. Well, as wildfires burn, some are wondering why BC hasn't declared a state of emergency yet.
Those tools are not needed right now. Tools such as restricting travel, rationing supplies like fuel or accommodations.
BC declared a state of emergency in 2023 during a historically destructive wildfire season. The forecast is calling for more hot, dry weather and dry lightning this week. Well, now to the latest on the wildfires burning just across the border in Washington state, the most destructive in the state's history. We are seeing new images of people escaping from the flames as the man accused of starting one of the fires faces a judge. ABC's Alex Stone has more.
This morning, a dramatic escape from the flames by boat. These incredible images of residents taking shelter on Lake Spokane. Bill Struett was in the caravan of boats that left their neighborhood threatened by the Autumn Lane fire.
My eyes were hurting. I had to put my head down underneath the steering wheel and then push my way through. I had a T-shirt wrapped around my face to cover my face and got through the smoky aspects of it.
And fire on both sides?
Fire on both sides, yeah. And homes burning up.
This is the man who prosecutors say started the most destructive of the three wildfires burning around Spokane. 37-year-old Aaron Farinacci appearing in front of a judge via Zoom on Tuesday. Farinacci was stopped by police near where the Old Trails fire started after residents called to report him. Prosecutors say he had matches and a butane lighter.
He was bent over, looking towards, doing something in the grass and through the tree line area. And when he saw us, he immediately stood up, turned around to face us and watched us the whole way.
The fires are now the most destructive in the history of Washington state. At least 700 structures damaged or destroyed, and more than 10,000 acres burned. Kimber and Kristen Renz's home had been in the family for over 30 years.
There's a lot of family heirlooms left in the house. It's all those memories. It's, you wake up and you think, oh, this is gone. This is gone.
Firefighters trying to put out the flames before wind and heat return later this week.
Well, it is a somber day at CTV and across the country as we mourn the passing of legendary CTV news anchor Lloyd Robertson. His career made him one of the longest-serving news anchors in television history, including 35 years as chief anchor of CTV National News. Diagnosed with cancer in 2024, his family says he died yesterday at the age of 92. Among those paying tribute is CTV National News anchor Sandy Ronaldo, who spoke of the first time she met him 50 years ago.
And there was this magnificent man with this booming voice. You know what that's like, right? He walks into a room and his voice just filled the entire room. We were so excited because this is a man who had made a name for himself on CBC and he was coming to CTV. And What it did for us was raise our level of not just professionalism, but in the eye of the viewer, we had reached the pinnacle.
Prime Minister Mark Carney has posted a statement which reads, "For millions of us, he was a familiar face in our living rooms, a reassuring voice in moments of uncertainty, a calm and steady presence through the moments that shaped our nation." It goes on to read, "I'm thinking of his family, his colleagues, and all those whose lives he touched." Well, WestJet is still playing catch up this morning after flight attendants went on strike.
Good impression for the customers, you have a lot of plans, hotels, Airbnbs and car rentals booked, and it's a ripple effect on your trip.
The airline canceled 16 flights yesterday as it repositions its planes and crew across its network. WestJet warns it will take time to get operations back to normal. Its CEO has issued an apology saying, "We know this disruption has been frustrating for our guests and WestJetters, and we're sorry for that." Passengers with bookings through Thursday can still change or cancel their flights without paying a fee. Well, A24 is taking us behind the scenes of the company's highest grossing movie ever.
We ended up creating this wild shoulder pad piece. Robert's waist is so tiny, so it ended up being this really weird shape, and I was really excited about that.
This is how the team behind Backrooms transformed the 7'7" actor and former basketball player Robert Wazrowski into the character Pirate Clark. This is part of a new 16-minute making of doc called Backrooms, Everything Must Go. Okay, I don't really know anything about this movie, but now I'm quite interested because of this alone.
Yeah, just to see that as well too, and that's a. Boy, that's a big process we're putting on, complex costume like that. Not just the costumes, but also the, the makeup, the prosthetics, everything else. Yeah.
I think some of these movies, they should all do those sort of making of documentaries because it gives you just a neat insight into the work that goes into these productions that we love so much.
My favorite from an old movie is watching Lunchtime. With the people from Planet of the Apes when they're in their costumes, right, with a knife and fork, and there's an ape, eating like scrambled eggs.
Wow.
Just like
So civilized.
Yeah, exactly.
No wonder they're taking over.
Yeah, no kidding. They got manners all of a sudden. All right, let's get a look at your weather. CTV weather brought to you by the BC Lions FemFest game. They take on Hamilton this Saturday at 4 o'clock kickoff, so you can celebrate with pre-game Disney characters, face painting, and free weekday P&E entry with every ticket. Tickets at BCLions.com. It is another hazy morning, too, and a cloudy morning, too. We're seeing cloud and haze. Sorry, shouldn't have crunched that together. We'll separate those. Wind is out of the west-northwest, 21 kilometers an hour. And air quality, we're under an advisory for much of Metro Vancouver. We're in the sort of high-risk range in the northern half of Metro Vancouver, moderate into the southern half, but it's the real problem is out in the eastern sections of the valley, Hope, Chilliwack, and also Agassiz, which will see very poor air quality as well. Here's our almanac. Today we'll reach about 23. That's near the water. Inland will climb up to about 29. Hit 22 is the average for this time of year. Last year we hit about 21. 29 was our record on this date, set in 1990. So we'll take you across the south coast. We're looking at showers maybe for Port Hardy. Campbell River, Comox will be sunny and warm again. Warm in Nanaimo. 24 out of Tofino. 25 in Victoria. 25 across the Sunshine Coast. Also 29 up through Squamish and Whistler. And 23 to 29 here for much of the lower mainland, including Metro Vancouver. We'll check in with the 5-day forecast and more. Right now, let's check in again with Mona.
Well, the Canadian Elite Basketball League is coming to a close, and our Vancouver Bandits are at the top of the Western Conference for another year. They're getting ready for their next playoff game happening this Thursday, August 6th. And I'm here with interim head coach Ransford. Good morning to you.
How's it going? Thanks for having me.
Yes, I'm so happy to be here with you guys. I'm so happy to hear the team has been going so well. We were just talking a little bit about how this season has thrown so many curveballs your guys' way, but you've still come out on top. What should folks expect this week?
They should expect a really resilient bunch, a group that's been through a lot this season, and that's helped shape the sort of play style that we have. We have no quit in our team. We have a bunch of guys that are all bought into their roles, and we go into every game expecting to win and to fight. So. This week with the first playoff game, everything that we've worked on, all the lessons we've had, all the tests we've had, I think we're going to come out and show that, and hopefully we have a testimony to show from that.
Absolutely. How important is it to really hear the fan support in that arena?
It means a lot. Like, we believe we have the best fans in the league. This is my 8th year being a part of the program, and so I've seen it at all different levels, from a player to being on the broadcasting team, to being the lead assistant, to now being the head coach. And what always draws me back, a big part of that, is our sixth man, which is the fans. And I'm looking forward to having everyone out there, and I'm excited for the excitement that's going to be in the gym.
Absolutely. Coach Ransford, thank you so much for your time with us this morning. I can't wait to see how the Bandits do this Thursday. August 6th is your first playoff game on home court at the Langley Event Center. You can get your tickets over on the Bandits website, and go Bandits go.
Thank you. I look forward to seeing everyone there. Come and support.
All right, sounds good. Thank you. Well, from Osheaga to Lollapalooza, Tate McRae is proving she is festival gold.
It was the most surreal and amazing experience ever.
The singer's creative team pulls back the curtain on how they pulled off this statuesque stunt. We'll have that coming up, still to come. But first, after years of progress, HIV infections are on the rise in Canada. Why experts say they're moving in the wrong direction. Your Morning Vancouver is back in a moment. It is a troubling trend. New data from the Public Health Agency of Canada suggests that HIV infections in Canada have risen sharply in recent years. That is in contrast to what's happening globally, where the disease appears to be in decline. To help us dig into why, we're bringing in Ben Clausen. He's the Associate Director of Research at the Community-Based Research Centre in Vancouver. Good morning. Thank you for being here, Ben.
Thanks so much for having me.
So this is really interesting information. So data from the Public Health Agency of Canada estimates that HIV infections rose nearly 23% between 2022 and 2024. Globally, it seems to be doing the opposite. Why is this happening here in Canada, do you think? Why is it on the rise?
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly a concerning trend. And what we've kind of seen in the Canadian context is that we really do have a lot of the tools that we need to end the HIV epidemic in Canada. We have really effective forms of HIV prevention, HIV PrEP, and PEP. We have really amazing tools for treatment as well for people who are living with HIV, which can lead to folks living with HIV being undetectable. And we have really effective forms of HIV testing as well that are easier for folks to access. So the problem is not really about the tools that we have. It's about funding. And what we've seen over the last 2 decades in Canada is that funding for community-based organizations has really remained stagnant for the last 20 years.
In 2019, officials in BC announced the end of AIDS as an epidemic in BC. We seem to be making good progress. What has changed since then?
Certainly there's a lot of national nuance around this issue, and what's happening in BC is quite different from, for example, what's happening in Manitoba, where we have a really serious situation related to HIV. But we also do have new HIV diagnoses that are continuing to happen in British Columbia, and so it is absolutely an evolving epidemic. And what we're seeing kind of across the country is that the communities that are most impacted are communities that face a variety of health inequities. And if we're not really proactive about addressing those inequities and ensuring that folks have access to some of these tools, this is what happens.
You just returned from the 26th International AIDS Conference in Rio, Brazil. What lessons did you learn at the conference, and is there anything that you're hoping to apply here in Canada?
Yeah, I think it's really important for us to have these opportunities to learn from what's happening in other national contexts and other countries in response to HIV, because Canada isn't leading the way anymore, and this is really discouraging. So I think we learned a lot about how countries like Australia, for example, are rolling out tools like PrEP in ways that are meeting the needs of communities in more effective ways, and that is really done in partnership in these countries with community-based organizations. And I think it's just reaffirming the importance of funding these organizations to do this really essential work in the Canadian context.
There is 3 pillars, and I have to put my glasses on to see them here, 3 pillars that are considered necessary to eliminate HIV as a health concern. 95% of people living with HIV diagnosed, 95% of those diagnosed on treatment, and 95% of those on treatment achieving a suppression of the virus. So Canada was supposed to meet those targets in 2025. Do you know if we did meet those targets?
We haven't met those targets. Yeah. And so we committed to those targets federally, and those targets still have not been met. And I think it's, again, just accentuating this issue of really needing to meet, communities where they're at and ensuring that these tools are actually able to get into the hands of, folks like 2S LGBTQ people, but also Indigenous folks and African, Caribbean, and Black communities.
What else could other levels of government be doing to assist? I mean, you've talked about the funding, but, what are you looking for here?
I think for us, it really is about empowering organizations like Community-Based Research Center to do the really impactful work that we do. We have been part of initiatives that have gotten, for example, HIV self-tests into the hands of tens of thousands of Canadians, really, reducing barriers to access to testing, which we know is like a really fundamental part of this cascade that you mentioned around the 95, 95, 95 targets. We've also done tons of work to educate, thousands of healthcare providers, so that they actually can, talk about PrEP in ways that are both affirming for our communities, but that they also know what these tools are. And so we really need funding to, empower that work and to really empower our communities.
Okay, well, Ben Clausen from the Community-Based Research Center, thanks so much for joining us this morning. Appreciate your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for coming in. Okay, well, some students on Vancouver Island are getting a unique learning opportunity. How they're taking a deep dive, learning about the importance of coastal ecosystems. We'll have more on this really unique program coming up in our next half hour. And the cheers on the bus go round and round. Up next, the baby putting the cute in commute. That's coming up on your sidebar.
All right, we're closing in on 7:54 on this Wednesday morning. It is going to be sunny, hazy, smoky, any other adjective that you want to throw in. And warm again, too, 23 to 29 degrees inland. And then the humidex is going to make it feel even warmer. Hopefully clearing up a little bit tonight and a couple of clearer days coming our way, but still warm. Let's show you the... show you the 5-day forecast.
No, you won't.
No, you won't? Okay.
It's going to be nice.
It's going to be nice. That's all you need. That's going to be nice. That's right. Oh, here you go.
Oh, it's back.
Yeah.
But that haze is going to be sticking around,
That's
I
true.
imagine.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Okay.
It's our director's first time.
Yeah, it's okay. You got it. You got it under control.
You know what? Yesterday when I was out during the day, it was like I was cold in the morning because it's hot because the sun's out, but it's not.
Because the haze,
the smoke.
It's actually hiding the sun.
So
it makes
then
it
I'm
cooler.
cold, but then on my walk home in the afternoon, I'm hot and it's smoky. I'm like, I'm getting home.
It's just so you know what you're supposed to wear. That's for sure. Yeah. All right, Mona, you know what to do now.
Anyways, it's time for your sidebar. Now that my qualms are out of the way, we kick things off with a baby who's a natural-born leader. Yeah, little Rayleigh, I should say, sure knows how to work up a crowd. Whenever she claps and cheers, the whole bus follows.
Nice.
Wow, she's doing a great job.
Yeah.
She is. I mean, I love that energy at the party.
Yeah, why wouldn't you follow that along?
Why not on the bus, too?
Bring it to the function.
That's right.
Now to a tot with special powers.
You woke me up!
2-year-old Niles was told that if he sings, his mom will wake up. And it worked. His high-pitched original song is the perfect way to start the day.
Is that his OG song, original song?
He goes, Mommy!
Yeah, he hit that high note for sure.
So cute. Finally, we finish off with a cute, but probably worst kind of guard dog.
Where are we going? Back door?
Oh, so cute.
Right back here? On this table?
This big guy loves delivery drivers and leads Jezzy to the back porch, to the spot the package needs to be placed. Then he poses perfectly to get that shot, to make sure that it was confirmed.
Really?
Yeah,
Proof that he helped.
And I love it. Yeah, the dog just waits for him there.
Yeah.
So cute.
Very, very
At first,
sweet.
you think he might, be dangerous, but then he's like, come over here, Jez.
Just look at him like,
Yeah,
exactly.
He's a happy boy.
He loves those deliveries. His owner's probably like ordering Amazon all the time just to keep his dog happy.
So cute. And that's all for your sidebar.
All right, thanks, Mona. So we're still in the thick of summer. It appears, though, some companies are ready for fall.
It stands to reason that the companies are going to continue to put them out there early.
Still to come, why some of the biggest coffee chains in the world are sliding the pumpkin spice latte back onto the menu already. Too soon? Yeah. Home sales are continuing to slow in the Fraser Valley. We're going to take a closer look at why and.
I really do think it's bad.
The warning from health officials on the air quality as temperatures soar. We're back with your top stories next.
There's a nutshell in there. There's bombs going off everywhere. People having a lot of propane, vehicles exploding.
Hundreds of homes destroyed as an out-of-control wildfire tears through the Okanagan. We have the latest on BC's wildfire fight.
And it was really important for him that women be promoted at a time when women weren't promoted.
The life and legacy of Lloyd Robertson is brought into full focus as the former CTV News chief anchor has died. And saying goodbye to the snowbirds for now as they take flight one final time in Victoria. Good morning, everyone. It's Wednesday, August 5th. Welcome to Your Morning Vancouver. I'm Carrie Adams. We begin with BC's fight against raging wildfires as officials warn of continuing tinder dry conditions. There are about 116 wildfires burning across the province, with more than 50 of them still out of control. The Bradley Creek fire near Vernon is certainly the most devastating at the moment. Overall, officials there say there are 8,000 British Columbians under evacuation order across BC and an additional 7,000 under evacuation alert. People are being told to prepare go bags while emergency crews are keeping an anxious eye on weather.
The orders and alerts over the past few days have been changing hourly. This reinforces just how important it is for everyone throughout the province to be prepared, even if you're not under alert yet.
We've never seen fuel dryness the way we are seeing it right now. And then when you put 85 to 100 kilometer winds on top of that, it is an explosive and extremely dangerous situation in BC.
All of this is coming as we enter the province's hottest month. There are more than 1,000 firefighters battling wildfires. 100 firefighters arrived from Mexico yesterday, and 200 more are expected later this week. Wildfire smoke is now blanketing Metro Vancouver and having a significant impact on air quality. Metro Vancouver's air quality map has the eastern Fraser Valley at a 10 this morning, which means there is a very high health risk. The central Fraser Valley, Metro Vancouver, Northwest and Northeast are at an 8 or high risk. You are advised to reduce strenuous activities outdoors, especially if you're experiencing coughing or throat irritation. Well, in the Okanagan, the full extent of the devastation left by the Bradley Creek wildfire is now coming into focus. Hundreds of homes are believed to have been destroyed after fast-moving flames fueled by powerful winds swept through the area. Our Craig Krause joins us now with the latest. So, Craig, residents are telling us this fire moved so quickly they only had minutes to escape.
Well, that's right, Carrie. Some fled by boat, others drove through walls of flame, and the stories they're now sharing paint a frightening picture of just how intense these moments were.
It was a nut show in there. There was bombs going off everywhere. People having a lot of propane, vehicles exploding, all sorts of things. It was just a crazy time.
Probably the most terrifying thing that I've ever experienced in my life.
Those are just two of the harrowing stories from people who escaped the Bradley Creek wildfire as powerful winds drove flames through the West Side Road community near Vernon on Saturday. Retired firefighter Jeff Moore escaped by boat, while other residents, including Avery Brownwell, fled through walls of flame to reach safety. The Okanagan Indian Band estimates about 30 band member homes along with 200 non-band homes were destroyed in this. When residents returned, they found entire stretches of the community reduced to rubble, and you're seeing it on the screen there. As of this morning, the Bradley Creek wildfire remains out of control. The BC Wildfire Service estimates that the fire has grown to more than 2,800 hectares in size, and with more hot, dry weather in the forecast, crews are getting little help from the weather. Carrie?
That's not good. Okay, Craig Krause joining us this morning. Thank you. Meanwhile, another fire roughly 30 kilometers south of the Bradley Creek blaze is also burning out of control along West Side Road. The Quilpatchuk Creek fire forced thousands from their homes over the weekend. The Central Okanagan Regional District says there's been no reports of structures damaged, but the fire has grown to more than 740 hectares. And emergency officials are keeping a close eye on the heat and wind in the forecast.
Right now, there's about 2,200 properties that are on evacuation order and another 450 or so that are on evacuation alert, meaning they should be ready to go at any time.
It's something all too familiar for people living in the area who also dealt with major wildfires forcing evacuations in 2021 and 2023. Well, another big story we've been following this morning is the passing of former CTV News chief anchor Lloyd Robertson. Tributes are pouring in from people of all walks of life. His career made him one of the longest-serving news anchors in television history, including 35 years as chief anchor of CTV National News. Diagnosed with cancer in 2024, his family says he died yesterday at the age of 92. Among those paying tribute is former CTV News president Wendy Freeman.
When I took over as the first woman executive producer of the CTV National News, it was really important to him that everybody really, see that this, young woman was now in charge of a newscast, which at the time there weren't many women in newsrooms. And he would come into the newsroom all the time and he would call me boss, to make sure that everybody knew that I was the boss. And it was really important for him that women be promoted at a time when women weren't promoted.
Prime Minister Mark Carney issued a statement that says Robertson was a familiar face in our living rooms, a reassuring voice in moments of uncertainty, and a calm and steady presence through the moments that shaped our nation. Well, crews from the Lions Bay Search and Rescue Team are on Vancouver Island as they help search for a missing 25-year-old hiker. Keshav Jindal went missing Monday after being separated from his group while hiking Mount Albert Edward in Strathcona Provincial Park. Anyone who was in the area and may have seen him are asked to contact our CMP. Well, some families who live in a Port Moody townhouse complex are still out of their homes after a truck crashed into it last week, but the truck is still there. The truck slammed into the front door of the townhouse Friday, shaking up the tight-knit neighborhood. CTV has learned one of the units houses a couple with their toddler. They're now scrambling to find a longer-term rental accommodation as there is no word on when they can return home.
I know them, and I feel for them. They've been out of their homes now for the past few days, and I hope they are, getting on okay. And it must be shocking for them. I mean, it's shocking for all of us.
Port Moody police say there were no injuries, but 2 units have significant structural damage, causing the truck to stay parked there. The driver was issued a violation ticket for failing to secure the vehicle. Well, despite a drop in prices, home sales in the Fraser Valley continue to slow. That is according to the Fraser Valley Real Estate Board. It says the composite benchmark price was down 0.8% last month compared to June and down 7% year over year. But sales saw a 5% dip in July and were down 9% year over year. The board says buyer urgency has been notably absent from the Fraser Valley market due to a high volume of inventory. The Canadian Forces snowbirds have flown their final show in Victoria for the foreseeable future. It was a mix of excitement and sadness for thousands who came out to watch. After 55 years putting on shows in the sky, the snowbirds will be grounded until the early 2030s while their fleet is replaced. For former snowbirds, this is bittersweet.
Pride, that's the Canadian flag in the air, right? And that's what we're going to miss for quite a few years now. So it's a really nostalgic moment for all of us. We had a great group of former snowbird pilots down here and technicians, along with all the other folks that have known and loved the snowbirds for so years.
The snowbirds' final show is in California on October 11th. We still have more than a month left of summer, but when it comes to coffee, apparently fall is officially here. Pumpkin spice lattes are hitting menus earlier than ever. Are they arriving too soon? Here's ABC's Rebecca Jarvis.
Just like Punxsutawney Phil signals the end of winter,
it's Punxsutawney Phil!
The pumpkin spice latte now signals the end of summer.
I'm gonna have to quit drinking coffee. And I love coffee.
But is fall coming too soon, even for lovers of the autumnal drink? Dunkin' Donuts announcing that pumpkin is back, starting on August 19th. Starbucks not far behind, announcing that their fall menu will be in stores August 25th.
In addition to the classic PSLs, you'll be able to find the new pumpkin spice chai.
We're ready in August. I feel like it's the perfect time.
It's my favorite drink, like year-round, no matter what. If it's not in
stock, I always try to find like a pumpkin chai like at a grocery store to make it at home because I love the pumpkin menu.
But it's not just pumpkin spice and everything nice.
I'm still soaking in summer, so I'm like not quite ready.
Pumpkin spice is big business for the coffee giants and countless other businesses with pumpkin spice products. One estimate saying that the pumpkin spice market is worth $1.7 billion globally.
So usually think of pumpkin and spice as very autumnal. Consumers are coming in for these beverages, and increasingly so year after year. It stands to reason that the companies are going to continue to put them out there early.
Pumpkin spice latte should not be on the menu until October 1st. That is how I feel about it.
If it's not on the menu at all, I'm not going to miss it.
I don't usually gravitate towards those. I like the gingerbread ones when it gets too close to Christmas time.
Yeah, I guess so. I've never been into the designer coffees, as they call them, so I just give me my decaf Americano. I'll be fine.
Yeah,
okay.
Every month of the year, nothing has to change.
Absolutely, yeah, that's right. Okay, same old boring stuff, Mark. All right, let's get to your weather. CTV weather brought to you by Destination Cultus. Unleash the fun at Destination Cultus, BC's best water and theme parks. It's not exactly summer weather either, so maybe that's putting you in the mood for pumpkin spice latte because, yeah, it is. I mean, there's sunshine out there, but there's also cloud, haze, and there's smoke, and it's 16 degrees. It will warm up to about 23 later on today. Inland, it's going to get up to about 29. As far as air quality goes, here's the situation. So through the northern half of the lower mainland, northwest Metro Vancouver, and into the northeast, it'll be in the high risk range at 9 and 8, but moderate risk range in southern sections. But by the time you get out to the eastern sections of the valley, it is very, very bad. Gets up to about 10. That's why they're under that orange air quality warning. It's pretty much yellow everywhere else, but not for Metro Vancouver. But we will see the smoke and the haze kind of hang around for most of the day. 23 to 29 degrees inland. The humidex is going to make it feel even warmer, up to about 33 inland. And it should clear up a little bit tonight, and those overnight lows getting very mild again. So not much change in the forecast. We've got the 7-day. We'll show you that in a few minutes, Carrie.
All right, thanks for that. Okay. We are seeing a noticeable shift in tourism south of the border, and now a number of American companies and cities are trying to lure Canadians back.
Well, obviously the U.S. is not a friendly neighbor anymore.
How New York is trying to win back Canadian tourists. That is still to come. But first, a hands-on learning experience is giving students on Vancouver Island a closer look at life below the surface. Coming up, the school putting coastal ecosystems in the spotlight.
All right, time now for this morning Skywatch. Here's a live shot showing the hazy skies near the Stalawasan Bridge. The sunshine filtered through the haze and the smoke. Should be clearing up a little bit, though, later on this afternoon. And it will get warm again, up to 29 degrees inland.
CTV Skywatch is brought to you by Kermac Collision and Autoglass, the name you'll remember when it matters. Kermac cares for kids.
Well, some students on Vancouver Island are getting a unique learning opportunity. They're taking a deep dive learning about life underwater and why this coastal ecosystems matter. Joining us to share more is Bridget Clarkston, Seaweed School co-creator and associate professor of teaching at UBC. And we also have Seaweed School alumna Ava Zielinski joining us virtually as well. Good morning to you both. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. So we'll start with you, Bridget. We'll talk a little bit about what inspired the Seaweed School and partnership, and how does it operate? Tell us a little bit about it.
All right, so Seaweed School is a grassroots collaboration between the Hornby Island Community School and the Hornby Island Natural History Center. They had an opportunity to keep the older grades, 7, 8, and 9, 8 and 9 specifically, on the island a little longer. Normally they would bus off island, 2 ferries and a bus ride to Courtney to go to high school. And so they got to keep them on the island, and I was invited in as a seaweed expert to help co-create a guided inquiry that lasted the whole year, learning about seaweeds and our coastal marine ecosystems.
So this is the second year it's been completed, and it was for grades 7, 8, and 9. For those wondering, why is seaweed so important? What is it about it that is important that people can learn about it?
There's so many things that are incredible about seaweeds. They form the fringe along our coastal marine ecosystems. They bring in the energy that so many things we rely on, like juvenile salmon and rockfish are relying on for their introducing the energy into the ecosystem. They create habitats. We eat them. We eat tons of seaweeds.
Oh, I bet you do. You can just pop them in your mouth. Do they have to go through a process first, or is it pretty?
Some seaweeds are great fresh off the beach, and some you want to cook.
Okay, let's go to Ava now. Ava, have you ever eaten some seaweed straight off the beach?
Yeah, I have.
How's it taste?
During one of the... Oh, it's good.
Okay.
During one of the programs we did, we got to go to the beach and harvest seaweed and then bring it back to the class and make food with it.
How would you describe your experience in the seaweed school?
Really fun. I love being out of the classroom and on the beach and working with super cool people like Bridget and her students.
So many different things you can learn when looking at videos. I know that just exploring the beach is so much fun, and to be able to do it as part of learning. Ava, what would you say to students who haven't had the opportunity yet to experience seaweed school?
I think it was really great, and they should definitely give it a try.
Do you hope to use the information that you learned in future learning? Are you going to be taking any other programs that are sort of connected to that?
Yeah, maybe one day. Maybe I'll go to university and become a marine biologist.
In the meantime, you know probably a lot more about seaweed than most of us do. So, Bridget, how is seaweed school training the next generation of coastal scientists? Then you heard Ava talking a little bit about what she might end up doing. Is that sort of like the goal, is to get people to look at those as careers?
Potentially, yes, careers, or just to be more informed citizens about the coastal marine ecosystem and why it's so important, and seaweeds specifically, to empower these students to ask questions about the land on which they live, and to see our learning through a braided lens of Indigenous knowledge and art and Western science, bringing those all together and really empowering them and their community to ask community-driven questions about science that we can answer together.
Do you see this program expanding into other communities?
I hope so. I like to dream big, so yes.
Okay, let's see what happens. Bridget joining us this morning, Bridget Clarkston and Ava Zielinski. Thanks for joining us, Ava. Appreciate your time, both of you. Thanks for joining us on the program.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, well, a Calgary man returned home from a road trip only to learn that he'd picked up a hitchhiker.
My kid was in the garage and came in from the garage, a little bit of a startled look on their face, said there's a creature in our garage.
Well, it was a trip of a lifetime for one adventurous marmot. Coming up, how the furry stowaway eventually got home.
It was the most surreal and amazing experience ever.
The golden moment that has everyone talking after 2 mega music festivals. After the break, we'll tell you how Tate McRae and her pulled off the stunt in gold. We're back in a moment.
Share your perfect morning brew with CTV and One Coffee. Snap a photo of your go-to morning beverage alongside your morning view. Whether it's a latte with a city skyline, a bold espresso in your backyard, or your favorite dark roast in your cozy home, submit your photo online at ctvvancouver.ca or scan the QR code on for your chance to win a One Coffee prize pack complete with a Keurig coffee machine and delicious One Coffee pods.
With financial pressure mounting, many Canadians are seeking creative ways to stretch their dollars. So how can you get more value from the money you're already spending? Here with some tips to help you make every dollar count is lifestyle expert Taylor Kay. Good morning to you, Taylor.
Good morning.
So Taylor, EQ Bank has been making headlines recently with a new partnership. What can you tell us about it?
Well, it happened about a month ago on Canada Day, and EQ Bank, a leading all-Canadian digital-first bank, they acquired PC Financial, and then they expanded their product offerings, which is great, into credit cards. And to celebrate EQ Bank and PC Financial coming together, EQ surveyed Canadians to find out how they're making our money, how we're making our money go further this summer. And as Canadians, we're finding creative, resourceful, and simple ways to stretch our dollars without putting bigger goals on hold. And when you think about it, all these small and important steps count towards bringing big goals to life, no matter what they are. The survey also, Mona, asked what Canadians picture their big dream to be. And this is specific to BC. Almost half of British Columbians, they said long-term financial security like home ownership and retirement, that was on their list.
Okay, well, you have a kind of unofficial guide to saving So we're going to unofficially save like a Canadian with this spin the wheel that you have there. You sent it to us in the studio. So you're going to give us some fun facts here. So let me just spin the wheel and see what we land on, and then you can give us some helpful info. Okay, so it landed on the piggy bank.
Oh, the piggy bank. Okay, so these are stats, of course, that, EQ Bank with their survey. So with the piggy bank, well, like many Canadians, we like to say sorry. 32% of Canadians are saying sorry, but I can't afford these plans. And, we're looking for other ways to save, and rewards are helping.
Okay, let's do one more because I feel like these are fun. Okay.
Okay.
I'll spin it, and it lands on the people running.
Oh, people running. Okay, this is great because, thinking during about these beautiful summer months, people want to be outside. We know, especially in Vancouver, around BC, we want to hike, we want to swim, we want to walk. And EQ Bank survey found that 38% of Canadians are choosing lower cost social plans just like these so that our dollars can go further.
Okay, so what does EQ Bank's partnership with PC Financial mean for Canadians now that we have some of these fun facts?
Yeah, so it's pretty exciting. So the partnership between EQ Bank and PC Financial is exciting. It's creating more opportunities to connect everyday banking, spending, and rewards in meaningful ways. And I will tell you, EQ Bank has exciting plans to show up in Canadians' everyday lives this summer with reward opportunities. That's all I can say, Mona, but there's going to be some amazing things happening in BC. But that's all I'm allowed to say. Okay. So check out eqbank.ca for more info for these great opportunities.
Okay, so we'll just have to keep our eyes peeled.
That's it. Keep your eyes peeled.
Okay, well, Taylor, thanks so much for the tips, and happy summer savings to everyone.
I'll see you on the trail, maybe Stanley Park. I'll see you there.
All right, thank you, Mona, and thank you, Taylor. Let's get one more look at your weather, which is looking like this. First of all, let's talk about those air quality warnings. Into the orange zone in eastern sections of the valley, and that includes Chilliwack, Agassiz, and Hope. And air quality still rather poor and high around much of the rest of the province, too. And that does change because of the weather and, of course, wind conditions and things like that. Cloud and haze this morning again through that filtered sunshine. It's 16 degrees at the moment. It will warm up to about 23 later on today as we check our almanac. 22 is our average. Last year we hit 21, and on this date in 1990 we set a record at about 29. Across the province, it is going to be smoky again through the southern interior, Kelowna, and also Kamloops. Warm again, too, with highs of 34. Sun and cloud in Prince George today, also in Fort St. John at 26. Some morning drizzle, and then sunny later for Prince Rupert, sunny in Masset, and mostly sunny for Bella Coola. Here across the south coast, we're looking at a couple of showers maybe for Port Hardy, and then some clearing. Sunny and warm again down the east side of the island. 27 in Campbell River, Comox. Will be 30 in the Nanaimo. Head into Port Alberni, it turns into 32. It's 24 and sunny out at Tofino, Ucluelet, and sunny through Victoria today with highs of 25. Sunny at 25 across the Sunshine Coast as well. Out through the sea to sky region, Squamish will be 29, Whistler 30. And here for the lower mainland, it is going to be sunny but hazy with that smoke too. And temperatures anywhere from 23 to 29 degrees inland. And then tomorrow, similar temperatures, similar conditions, hopefully clearing up a little bit through Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, where it'll be slightly cooler, but still quite warm, 23 near the water, up to about 26 inland. Carrie.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Mark. So now to pop star Tate McRae's golden moment. It got a lot of attention at Lollapalooza, and now we're getting a behind-the-scenes look. ABC's Hannah Bata has more.
She's the Canadian singer-songwriter behind global hits like Greedy and You Broke Me First. But over the weekend, Tate McRae going for gold. The Grammy nominee stunning the crowds at Lollapalooza and Osheaga music festivals when she disappeared from the stage and emerged covered in a quick-drying gold paint.
The crowd was so loud. It was actually insane. It was the most surreal and amazing experience ever.
The 23-year-old singer's creative team pulling back the curtain on how they pulled this off. Creative director Ludovic de Sancerna says they rehearsed the show for over a month in the hopes of topping Tate's viral VMAs performance where she sang in a sandpit.
We had the team that built the set for the stage hid the gold bath the whole time. It was just covered the whole time, and dancers were dancing on it like you had no idea something was hidden there.
What looked effortless on stage required careful technical planning and a crew with experience. So McRae's team tapped the folks who sourced the show-stopping slime at the Kids' Choice Awards.
It's about the look of it, the weight of it, how pretty it can get, how messy it can get, how safe it can be, and just like wanting to have this like incredible vision of her like disappearing and the fans thinking that's it, that's the end of the show, she disappeared, and then actually she comes back out like a gold goddess. And at the same time, we had fireworks going on. It was a full grand finale.
Hannah Battah, ABC News, New York.
Wow, she looks like an Oscars trophy.
She does.
Well, she looks like, you remember the old James Bond movie Goldfinger, right?
Okay, they do that?
They have. So they had one of the Bond girls went that way. She was painted in gold.
Oh, okay.
Which turned out to be fatal.
Maybe,
but, you know,
oh, okay. Look, Tay McRae is fine in this case.
She's fine. She's fine. Okay, she's okay.
Yeah. They're always trying to do some kind of like viral moment, and in this case, it really worked.
I mean, she's a performer, right? She's a dancer. She's a singer.
So good.
She's Canadian. Our Calgary girl.
Yeah, but really embracing the United States.
Well, y'all know she's Canada down.
She's Canada down. That's what she said. She's Canada down.
Yeah.
All right, and she's gold dipped now too.
There you go.
Okay, so the time is 8:30. Here's the view from downtown. This is Burrard Street, looking kind of busy out there. No problems to report. We have a look at your top stories right now. Ferocious wildfire season is showing no signs of slowing down. Across BC, the province reports there are roughly 7,300 properties under evacuation order. Another 3,800 are on evacuation alert. There are 116 active wildfires burning in BC. Almost half are out of control, and officials fear hot, dry, and windy conditions could fuel more fires. Meanwhile, all of that wildfire smoke is causing air quality issues on the Lower Mainland. The Eastern Fraser Valley is the hardest hit, with Metro Vancouver's air quality map pegging it at a 10, or a very high risk this morning. Officials say you should try to stay inside.
Include those with lung, heart, or other chronic conditions, pregnant people, infants, children, older adults, and outdoor workers.
The Central Fraser Valley, Metro Vancouver, Northwest, and Northeast are all listed as 8 or high risk this morning. The full extent of the devastation caused by the Bradley Creek wildfire in the Okanagan is now coming into focus. After powerful winds drove the fire through the West Side Road community near Vernon, hundreds of homes are believed to have been destroyed. Craig Krause has been following this. He joins us now. Good morning, Craig. And this fire remains out of control. What are the evacuated residents telling us?
Well, Carrie, now they're sharing the terrifying stories of their escape as the scale of the damage continues to emerge.
I'm scared.
These were the scenes as the Bradley Creek wildfire raced through West Side Road community Saturday, fueled by strong winds that drove the fire toward homes. The Okanagan Indian Band estimates about 30 band member homes, along with 200 non-band homes were destroyed in this. When residents returned, they found entire stretches of the community reduced to rubble. For many, escaping was just as harrowing as returning.
It felt like we were driving through an apocalypse. You could definitely feel the heat. At one point, I think I said, "Oh my God, it's so hot in here."
So we got really, really lucky. Like, it was like right across from us, but it just blew right by us.
The Bradley Creek wildfire remains out of control, and the BC Wildfire Service estimates the fire has grown to more than 2,800 hectares. And with hot and dry conditions expected to continue, crews are getting little help from the weather. Carrie?
Craig Krause joining us live this morning. Thank you, Craig. Well, it is a somber day at CTV and across the country as we mourn the passing of legendary CTV news anchor Lloyd Robertson. His career made him one of the longest-serving news anchors in television history, including 35 years as chief anchor of CTV National News. Diagnosed with cancer in 2024, his family says he died yesterday at the age of 92. Among those paying tribute is CTV National News anchor Sandy Ronaldo, who spoke of the first time she met him 50 years ago.
And there was this magnificent man with this booming voice. You know what that's like, right? He walks into a room and his voice just filled the entire room. We were so excited because this is a man who had made a name for himself on CBC, and he was coming to CTV. And what it did for us was raise our level of not just professionalism, but in the eye of the viewer, we had reached the pinnacle.
Prime Minister Mark Carney has posted a statement which reads, "For millions of us, he was a familiar face in our living rooms, a reassuring voice in moments of uncertainty, a calm and steady presence through the moments that shaped our nation." It goes on to read, "I'm thinking of his family, his colleagues, and all those whose lives he touched." Well, WestJet is still playing catch up this morning after flight attendants went on strike.
Really not a good impression for the customers. You have a lot of plans, hotels, Airbnbs and car rentals booked, and it's a ripple effect on your trip.
Canceled 16 flights yesterday as it repositions its planes and crew across the network. WestJet warns it'll take some time to get operations back to normal. The CEO has issued an apology saying, "We know this disruption has been frustrating for our guests and WestJetters, and we're sorry for that." Passengers with bookings through Thursday can still change or cancel their flights without paying a fee. An Alberta man discovered a surprise hitchhiker had caught a ride with him on the drive back to his Calgary home. An adventurous marmot apparently hitched a ride from Kananaskis to Calgary last Tuesday. The driver, Chris Ratzlaff, thinks the animal may have tucked herself into a skid plate under the engine. The animal hung around in the garage for a while before exploring the neighborhood. She returned to the garage Saturday, and Ratzlaff called the Calgary Wildlife Rehabilitation Society. They gave him some tips to keep this from happening again.
Whenever you are getting into your car in the mountains after hiking, bang on your hood a little bit, bang on the fenders, just to kind of scare something away. Take a look, like pop the hood, take a look inside, make sure you don't have any unwanted hitchhikers.
Well, a team captured the intrepid marmot and gave her a quick health check before bringing her back home. Well, a new documentary is offering a rare look behind the scenes at Disney and the effort it takes to turn dreams into reality.
I think probably the greatest compliment you could give any of us was, "We're going to make an attraction out of your movie."
Disney World Builders explored how storytellers turn movies into immersive experiences in Disney parks. Filmmaker Leslie Iwerks, the daughter of Mickey Mouse co-creator, is behind the documentary. It features interviews with Bob Iger, James Cameron, Jon Favreau, and more. Disney World Builders premieres August 20th on Disney+. Interesting. Ooh, it's National Oyster Day, and local businesses are teaming up for a spicy celebration. Whether you want to go out or stay in, we'll help you make the most of this mollusk milestone. After the break, a pro shares some tips on how to shuck oysters at home. Plus.
Well, obviously the U.S. is not a friendly neighbor anymore.
Well, as Canadians continue boycotting U.S. travel, one city's trying to lure back tourists. We'll have more on the strategy coming up.
Hello there, Kara Wagland in the SportsCenter newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday. And for we head to opening night of League's Cup, Cincinnati taking on Pachuca in the 18th minute. Evander takes one touch, unleashes a curling strike right into the net. A gorgeous finish from the Brazilian, freezing the keeper to the ground and drawing Cincinnati level in the match. They would go on to win, while Evander takes home your must-see moment from Tuesday. And coming up tonight on TSN, the Hlinka Gretzky Cup continues. Canada taking on Sweden. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific. That's all for now from SportsCenter. Have a great day.
Well, good morning from the Vancouver Bandits practice as they get ready for their third playoff run right here on home court advantage. We are just steps away from the Langley Event Center with Mitch Creek, who is a forward on the Vancouver Bandits team. Mitch, it's good to be back with you.
Thank you. It's nice to be here again.
Yes, you've just spent a whirlwind few months playing all over the world. You're in Romania, in Australia, playing on the national team, and now you're here just in time for this Bandits playoff run. How does it feel to be back?
Firstly, it's amazing. The chance to play back in Australia with the national team was incredible. It was great that the Bandits allowed me to do that, so massive shout out to them. But to be back with the Bandits, my third season now, we've had 2 playoff runs. Now it's a chance to go and maybe play some home finals, but to be a part of a great group, well coached, well looked after by Dylan and the rest of the team, it's always special to be here.
Absolutely, and I've heard that there's been so many sellout games this season. What's it like to see the fans come out in droves to support the Vancouver Bandits, and how important is it in a playoff run?
Oh, it's huge. The fans and fan appreciation in our last game was amazing. They showed out and we had a great game, but for me especially, like, I understand coming from a small country town that, you know, we're not able to do this without the fans, the members, the volunteers, everyone that shows up week in, week out. So it's special. And for me, I just am so blessed to be able to play the game I love with my friends. You know, my family gets to come, my partner, everyone gets to enjoy the, you know, what we do as a job, but it's a game.
Absolutely.
And we get to have fun. So
how can I be a Bandits player? What would it take for me to make the team?
well, firstly, we're probably going to have a women's team.
Okay,
but
yes.
That's okay. You can be the starter and the captain and the coach and the ball boy, ball girl, anything you want to be, you can be. But we talked about this last year. You and I did a segment, and we worked on balance, eyes, elbow, and our follow through. And now you remembered earlier, hand in
Grandma's cookie jar.
Grandma's cookie jar, because Grandma has the best cookies, as we all know.
Okay. Well, let me tell people one more thing. In the meantime, go get your tickets to the Vancouver Bandits Championship Playoff Run. It's happening right here on August 6th, Thursday. It's coming up so soon, so go get your tickets. And then now I'm going to try to make
cookies
this.
for a year.
Oh! So close, so close. But go Bandits, go!
That was close, Mona. You're still a superstar. Superstar. All right. Let's get one more look at our weather, which is looking like this. It's still smoky, hazy, and somewhat cloudy. It's 16 degrees, and it will get warm, too. The sun is out there, just filtered through all that sort of stuff. And, yeah, there is an air quality advisory out for much of the lower mainland. Northern section of Metro Vancouver, it'll be at the high-risk range of Northwest Metro at 9, Northeast 8, so that's still high. Moderate risk level at around the southern sections, and out towards the Eastern Valley, that's where it's a real problem. They're under an orange air quality warning, and that'll get up to about 10, and that's not good. 23 is the temperature will get up to. We're average is 22 for this time of year. Last year we were at 21, and the record on this date was 29. Those are inland temperatures too. And across the province, it's smoky again through the southern interior and hot. 33 in Kelowna, 34 in Kamloops. Sun and cloud up in Prince George, also in Fort St. John. Prince Rupert seeing a little drizzle, and then some sunny breaks later. Massaw will be sunny and mostly sunny in Bella Coola. Here across the south coast, it's going to be 18 in Port Hardy with some drizzle, some sun later on today. Sunny in Campbell River, Comox, right down the east side of the island, up to 30 in Nanaimo. Head into Port Alberni, it's 32. It's 24 and sunny out at Tofino Ucluelet, and sunny and 25 for Victoria. Sunshine Coast, it'll be sunny and 25 as well. Up the Sea to Sky region, 29 in Squamish. Whistler will be 30. And here for the lower mainland, it's going to be sunny but hazy, and some smoke as well. 23 to 29 degrees inland, and some of that smoke may clear away by tonight. But then tomorrow, back to the same conditions, and hopefully clearer on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And temperatures a little bit cooler, too, about 23 to 28 degrees inland by the weekend. CTV Weather brought to you by Destination Cultus. Unleash the fun at Destination Cultus, BC's best water and theme parks. Carrie.
All right. Thanks, Mark. Well, it is National Oyster Day, and what better way to celebrate than ordering a dozen or two? Melindy Taylor from Fanny Bay Oyster Bar is here to give us some tips and tricks for oyster shucking at home. Hi, good to see you.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Happy National Oyster Day.
Yes.
And even though that is the day, it's not actually oyster season until later in the fall, you were saying.
Yeah, well, it depends on what hemisphere you're in. So if you're in the southern hemisphere right now, it's definitely oyster season. You can still eat oysters year-round, especially if they're farmed, because farmed oysters are regulated and tested for safety. So yeah, you can totally enjoy oysters still on International Oyster Day in the Northern Hemisphere, but they're actually at their peak generally between October and April.
Good to know. And there are so many different types of oysters available in BC. What should people look for when they're buying them?
When you're buying an oyster, you want to make sure that it is firmly closed. There's no gaps around the edge.
If it's opened, it means what? It's
generally that the muscle has loosened and it's a weaker oyster. So you want a nice strong oyster.
Got it.
Yeah, so something with a nice deep cup, flat top, and an easy hinge to shuck at.
Okay. I know that Fanny Bay recently teamed up with Holy Duck Chili for a special menu. Tell us how that went.
It was great. We had a video go completely viral of us just grilling some oysters. We used their chili oil on our grilled oysters at the Oyster Bar. And yeah, we had a video go viral, so we decided to do a fun collab week with them. So we did a fun collab menu, a couple different items, and we even used our house-made Caesar with the oyster on top with their seasoning inside the Caesar rim.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that obviously is a flavor that goes well with oysters. Are there others that work well?
Yeah, I got a couple different condiments, kind of a classic Tabasco.
Right.
Down in the South, this is kind of quintessential.
Standard.
Here in most of North America, you see mignonette on a lot of people's menus. It's generally a vinegar-based sauce that's got, this pink one right there. It's got shallots and cracked pepper in it. Ours at Fanny Bay has apple cider in it, so it's a bit of a sweetener to that nice acidicness. And then my favorite, if for a spice lover like myself, I love a habanero, but I don't want it too hot. So there's a mango in this as well. So
that sounds
mango
good.
habanero, also you can find that at our oyster bar.
Different. I don't think I've ever tried that. Okay, now here comes the shucking part, because I think that this is intimidating to a lot of people.
Yeah.
They go, they can buy their fresh oysters, but then what do they do with them? So give us a demo here.
It takes a little bit of time to get used to the feeling of shucking, but basically you've got the bottom of the oyster is the cup side, the flat top is the top of the oyster, and those two shells meet at the hinge.
Right.
And I'm so sorry if you're left-handed, but all oysters are right-handed essentially. They have an adductor muscle that goes right through the right side of their body that attaches the two shells together.
So get someone right-handed to do it for you.
So I'll give you a safety glove.
My protective glove on.
There we go. I'll give you a Sunseeker oyster.
Okay, so bowl down.
Yes.
Hinge on the right.
Yes. So and then you want to take your knife.
And it's a special knife too. This is like a
do
shucking
not use any regular knife. Get a shucking knife.
Okay.
They're generally not too expensive. You can usually find them at the grocery store or at your local seafood shop. So you want to go take your knife between the two shells at the hinge.
So I think I'm just going to fold that over.
Yeah, you can fold at about a 45-degree angle.
Okay.
Now, what you don't want to do is put too much pressure on top, or else you're going to just keep the shells together.
Okay.
I like to pinch the sides of the oyster.
Good tip.
And then once you're in, you'll kind of feel it stick on the knife.
I think I got a left-handed oyster.
And then it's as easy as popping it like turning a key.
Oh, you got yours.
Yeah.
Okay. How come mine's not popping here?
A little bit further in. Once you feel that knife stick, there you go. Now turn it like a key.
Yeah, okay.
Beautiful.
And then, so my knife is in here. Now, do I just tear it along the edge?
So I use my knife, and I hold my oyster with my thumb, and so you can see what you're doing, working down the right side of the shell, and I kind of crank the oyster shell open with a knife and clear the top. Yeah, so that adductor muscle right there, scrape that off.
Okay, ta-da, ta-da. And that's ready to eat.
You want to then scrape the bottom of the oyster as well, because that muscle goes all the way through. Now, if you go to France, they won't scrape the bottom for you.
Oh, good to know.
That's where oyster forks come from.
That's their little joke.
That's their little joke. You go to slurp it, and it's still in the shell.
Okay, happy National Oyster Day.
Cheers.
I'm Lindy Taylor from Fanny Bay Oysters. We do this. Cheers.
Yes.
Okay. Stay with us, everyone. We're back after a short break. Here we go. Are you going to try an oyster?
I probably will.
It's National Oyster Day.
Okay. Happy National Oyster Day.
Not probably. You have to.
Okay, well, summer vacation season in full swing. Some companies, as well as cities in the U.S., are trying to lure Canadians back. Does that mean people will put their elbows down in search of a deal? Here's CTV's Paul Hollingsworth.
On a hot summer day,
ring off the rope without untying the knot.
The busy Halifax waterfront offers a snapshot of the tourism vibe in this province.
We're 29% ahead of passenger counts based on this time last year.
Tourism operators say business is on track for a record-breaking year, locally and nationally. According to Stats Canada, tourism revenue across the country has climbed almost 6% compared to the same time frame in 2025.
We're having increased Americans taking advantage of the American dollar. We're seeing Canadians stay home.
Donna Riani and her husband are visiting from Boston for the first time.
Well, obviously the U.S. is not a friendly neighbor anymore.
Given the recent tariff tensions between the two countries, Riani is here to see the sights and show support for her northern neighbors.
It's something I wanted to do. It's nice.
As Americans visit Canada, Canadians continue to travel within this country. Domestic tourism remains strong. David Martel from Quebec City was tempted to travel to the U.S., but he decided to stay in his home country.
For now, I'm going to
support the local markets.
The trend of Canadians refusing to travel south of the border is taking a bite out of U.S. tourism. To attract more travelers, Porter Airlines is offering 20% off flights from Canadian cities to New York from August until December. New York is tossing in hotel discounts and cheaper tickets for Broadway shows.
And we're offering 30% off of 85 plus tourism attractions.
Martel says thanks, but no thanks.
Maybe in a couple of years.
He'll spend his vacation money in his home country as the tourism industry continues to surge from coast to coast. Paul Hollingsworth, CTV News, Halifax.
I think that is a consideration. I mean, people don't necessarily want to travel to the States, but they also want to save money. And if those deals are being offered, then it's pretty enticing.
Yeah, a lot of them too. California, I think they're doing that as well. Las Vegas has been offering deals, so
Yeah, I think that in Nevada they had a lot of on par deals at a lot of the hotels. So you pay in Canadian.
Oh. That is
instead
appealing
of U.S.
people.
So we'll see. It's a personal choice for everybody.
It sure is. I mean, a lot of people still have their elbows up.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Okay, well, finally this morning, Adam learns a thing or two about longevity and lawn maintenance from a man with more than a century of knowledge on this morning's Encore Sawatsky Sign-Off.
Although today is a special day, David Faulkner begins it in an ordinary way.
I get up about 6 o'clock and I make porridge.
The same breakfast the 101-year-old has been eating since he could still show his age on one hand.
We didn't even have a telephone.
While Dave remembers communicating through postcards and traveling on horses, he'll never forget enduring the Great Depression.
You couldn't afford to buy a new thing.
So Dave was taught how to maintain everything.
You gotta have old stuff to fix it.
And now, instead of using a walker for stability,
I carry tools.
Pushes a cart so he's prepared for any possibility.
I never know what I run into all day.
Dave's especially grateful to be good with his hands, since things have gone so bad with his eyes.
I got a spot in the middle of my vision. It blacks out.
While his limited peripheral vision is foggy,
I feel.
Dave's passion for mowing couldn't be more clear.
Oh, I like it. It's exciting.
1 to 10, Dave, how excited are you?
Oh, maybe 8.
Lawn mowing day achieves a strong score because Dave's work ethic is even stronger.
Make every day count. That's what I think.
But if you ask Dave what he's learned at the end of the day really counts?
And I married a lovely lady.
He'll tell you about the 75 years he spent with his beloved Elsa.
She looked after me. I tried to look after her, too.
He'll tell you how proud he is of his kids, including Jan, who's visiting today.
Something will happen and you get a little laugh or a smile.
And while Dave suggests you always put family first and never think twice about doing the right thing,
just try to be honest about everything.
He's too humble to talk about the volunteering he's done for decades. While Dave doesn't know the secret to his longevity, he has no doubt about the meaning of life.
Try to be happy.
And the best way to do that?
And try to make other people happy.
And that is how you make every day, no matter your age, feel like 10 out of 10. Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Langley.
The Sawatsky Sign-Off, brought to you by 1-800-GOT-JUNK. They make junk disappear. All you have to do is point.
Wow. That mower looked like it was as old as he was.
It really shows the energy that he has. And like,
really
an
does.
inspiration for so many people just to get off the couch, go do something, stay
Get
active.
off the couch. Stay on the couch till 9, but after this, get up. Go.
Well, when you think you're too old to do something, you're not really.
Exactly.
You're never too old to mow the lawn.
Exactly.
So true.
Oyster Craig?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
I didn't know we had oysters. This is amazing.
We roll like this all the time.
Yeah. No kidding. Wow, fancy.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Have
Cheers.
a great day.
Get off the couch.
Get off the couch.